No.
Wait. What did you say?
I said I can't take the suffering from you.
All right, let's give. Let me get out this link for everyone.
I'm gonna take the suffering.
suffering.
Oh, okay. Oh no, okay. I was thinking of something completely different.
Okay, if you guys could just go into, if you guys still have the old chat up, if you could just throw this link in there for them.
Sure. I got it up on my end, so I'll just throw it on to them.
Yeah, let them know. This is where the new party is.
Oh boy,
All right.
the new one.
Fuck.
We're back. We're back. There's
God
audio. I can see the audio going. God damn. This microphone, I love it. It's so good. But my God, the amount of problems I have when it's moved in just the wrong way. I got to make sure this fucking cord is still functional. I don't know where I would get a new one. Oh.
For some reason, I'm not able to see the chat.
Uh-oh.
You might have to send it to.
All right,
like a
let's
new
shut down the stream again. Like
Okay.
Kaiser reset. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No.
Oh, Funko
Come
Bear.
on, dude.
The
Okay,
Funko
let
Bear
me
Paladin.
refresh that
Teddy Bear
page.
Paladin, super chat. Funko Bear. Our cub was a ball of energetic Ursuline love. This was the action girl figure. The weird girl who carried her bear plushie to school. Funko Bear. Hey, I'm telling the story. Action girl figure. Go on, you plastic peon. FB. Jerk.
Okay.
Have you been here
Is
for the
this-
streams regularly? I know nothing. Do you know about the legacy of Teddy Bear Paladin?
Vaguely the thing of Teddy Bear Paladin. Unfortunately, I do not know the full lore.
Yeah, well, yeah. To be fair,
Aw.
the full lore needs to be compiled somewhere, but it basically boils down to it's all about Funko Bear and the Teddy Bear Paladin and his little brother Funko Bear and their shenanigans. It's really cute. It's like really, it gets kind of dark in
Aw.
places and kind of wholesome. It's like it's
Yeah.
really nice. Also,
Yeah,
oh my God!
and now we
okay.
have a new character in the form of the action girl figure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Sorry about the scuff, everyone. That was embarrassing. Embarrassing. And now I'm realizing that my Rahi tuber is probably going off of my... Yeah,
Oh, no.
okay.
R.I.P.
I'm going to reset my Rahi tuber, but that doesn't require cutting the stream. So, Twilight, while I'm doing that, please introduce for us the topic of today's stream.
Sure. So the topic of today's stream is an old children's chapter book for girls that came out when I was about 9 years old. So I've had this thing in my brain for the majority of my life. And when I first read it, it was fine. But then upon subsequent readings, I was like, there's something wrong here, but I can't figure out what it is, because maybe it's because I'm 9 and my critical thinking skills haven't developed yet. But this series has been sort of a mini obsession with me. I both love and hate it. Like, you guys in the server talk about how everybody has like a love-hate relationship with a Ruby in the Tundra. This is my Ruby.
Yeah.
I both love and hate this book series. Because it really did affect little child Twilight, and it really did influence a lot of the creative and writing choices that I would make over the years, but gosh darn, is it not very good in my eyes.
And I just realized because of the scuff, I did not introduce anyone here, and now my Rahi
Nope.
tuber is
Boom.
Oh, come on.
Well, you can do that now that you're all settled in.
Well, and I'm not settled in because my Rahi tuber just stopped working. God damn it, Rahi.
Oh no.
So much scuff
Oh,
this episode.
I was
Oh my goodness.
so
But yes,
worried.
Scuff
about the
Central.
Hi, your periodically vanishing host, Raymond McNeil, the Celtic Phoenix. Joining me as co-host today are the visceral Kaiser Shonen.
Yeah,
The visceral. That's a new word for today. And the wonderful Twilight Guardian.
Hello, I am the host today.
And joining us as a guest host is, well, would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh boy, I guess the best way to describe it is I am the poor sap that Twilight tricked into reading this entire epic fantasy. So memes aside, I am IKnowNothing, or MJ Reese, a hopeful one-day author, a member of the Tundra, and just frankly happy to be here to talk about this. And if chilling thing, if you can look up a name on Amazon, my first debut novel is out there for you. And well, it's better than this. I hope it is, at least, because I haven't heard anything bad yet.
I mean,
I was gonna say,
listen, you had to get Gaslit Girl Boss in order to read that one, so I think that's already a plus.
That is true. That is true.
I was gonna say, what do you mean want to be an author? You are an author. You've published a book. You are officially in authordom. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Well,
I'm literally staring at the cover. It is literally your avatar.
That is true.
And
yes,
you don't have to scour Amazon for it. The link for it is down in the description below.
Yes, Fleur, this is a book with googly eyes. It's the greatest. I live.
And I love how the guard of the sword looks like a mouth.
I know, right? It's glorious.
It's
so
perfection.
perfect. It's so perfect.
It has the perfect expression for unicorns of Balinor, where it's just.
It's staring up at the unicorns of Balinor right now. But if I may suggest one thing to keep the stream non-scuffed and somewhat professional, Twilight, a suggestion to start out this grand adventure. Would you like to talk about publishing dates and how quickly these books came out?
Ooh.
Okay,
Oh, wow.
So the books were first published during the summer of 1999, and the final book was published, I want to say, sometime before winter 2000. There are 8 books in the series, by the way.
Oh, damn.
They came out every 3 months.
That
okay.
All right, so you know how people
thought
get angry at Brandon Sanderson for writing quickly and making the rest of us authors look bad? Move the fuck over.
You have to understand.
Yeah.
Mary Stanton is a genetic freak that makes Sanderson look like nothing, a child in comparison to the speed.
Well, you'll soon learn why you shouldn't publish a book, even a children's chapter book, once every 3 months. Because this book really shows that it was published every 3 months.
That's probably. Josh Thomas Moore
100%.
knew. Raymond, I thought you were banned from turning people into books. Do I do that now? Is that just a power that I have? I can just turn people into books. My Power Ranger villain.
Wait, you say this as if this happened last time.
Well, when was the last
Did this
time I
happen
turned
before?
someone into a book?
Well, to speak on this behalf as the only book person here, frankly, my spine has never felt more comfortable.
You could say your whole life is turning over a new leaf.
So are they the length of the Del Toro quest books? Yes. Yes, they are.
Yeah, it's they're very
Oh, wow.
to normal readers, you'd consider them bite-sized.
Yeah.
Diego, that's
So
the
these-
Kaiser and Celtic Phoenix. These streams have Warhammer 40k ads. Weird.
Damn.
You know, people said that people were saying that we're getting slightly right-leaning ads on our streams. Does that qualify?
I mean, that was the last one. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Robbie says, Raymond, I curse you, turns you into a copy of 50 Shades.
Oh shit.
Oh, no.
The worst fate that you could possibly imagine. No,
I'd rather be
no.
turned into a book with blank pages.
No, I think even an even worse fate would be turned into a copy of was it 365?
Oh fuck yeah!
Listen, as long as I'm not turned into a copy of Empress Teresa, I think I'm good.
Oh my god!
I mean, at least 50 Shades of Grey has an actual cover that doesn't look like a fucking 8-year-old made it.
Yeah, but at the same time, at least you know that the author like had passion for that book, even if he cannot write to save his life.
It's always random we can't
Counterpoint,
hear.
I can get all the why nots.
Can you guys hear me now? Am I loud enough for you guys now? If I lean back casually, can you guys still hear me? Can I relax in a stream instead of eating my microphone that may or may not work if I have to adjust it 3 inches?
You clearly haven't given your prayers to the Omnisaya, and that's why your machines aren't working.
Sky Sletcher says Tekken. I don't get the reference to Tekken. Why are you bringing up Tekken? Are we about to see schoolgirls in miniskirts kicking each other's asses? Is that what we're about to see?
I mean, it'd be a better story than this one, honestly. So
evidently.
I mean, at least Tekken has a fighting panda bear and a
fighting panda bears do make things better. Yes.
Yeah. Look at Jujutsu Kaisen.
Periodic Pete says, if I get cursed, there's literally no change. I'm already a booker. At least that's what the guys at Poker Night tell me. I thought you were a periodic table.
Oh damn.
I think the giveaway is he's meant to be read. Or easy to read.
Anyway.
I know the joke.
But, I flubbed my delivery on that. It was supposed to be a little more. I'm in the
damn joking Scuff. That's the worst kind of
We've ascended to a new kind of Scuff. This is the power of the Celtic Phoenix.
His semblance is evolving.
I mean, hey, at least his semblance evolution makes way more sense than Ren's. Holy shit.
Yeah. his
being able to just mask people's emotions and is able to sense emotions after. Like, I don't know, man.
You know what would be the greatest line for Ren in season 10? You see, as an empath, I can tell.
Get the fuck out. Dude, if that happens,
in volume 10 needs to say we've all grown in our own ways. He needs to say that again. But he needs to say it specifically to Ruby to her face in response to everything.
Oh yeah,
that's his only response to what happened in volume 9. After
I was gonna say you have grown so much
in your own way by literally reverting back to the way you were.
Can I name him Raymond's Scorch Nest?
I mean, that's a cute name, but
that'd be cute. Yeah,
I already have a last name. It's McNeil.
Chia likes naming things.
I was about to say, is this for
do you have Chia pets
Ruby fanfic?
Anyway, so I highlighted a lot of the issues that I have with the book.
Here we go.
Well, do we want to elaborate on why that wasn't quite as expeditious for our purposes as we had hoped?
No.
Yeah. Well, you see, if my e-reader can just work, thank you very much. It's been freezing a lot
thank you.
lately.
It's not just me scuffing today. Oh, thank God.
It's been freezing for the last couple of days, actually. So I don't know what's going on.
Yep.
But as you can see, there are just a lot of problems.
Go up real quick. Go up real quick on the e-reader. just to the top real quick for these things. I don't know. Is this? I can't notice these things because I'm with dyslexia. But like for less station to hear all the way. Period. Right there. Is that meant to be there?
I don't know if it's an issue with this copy of the book or if it's just the Kindle was made by a boomer,
Fair
which
enough.
you know, considering the fact that it was likely, if not Mary Stanton herself, then one of her children. It's either someone in her 70s or somebody in their like 50s that made this.
Well, I'm just going to
So who
point
knows?
out, having wrestled with e-publishing before, formatting this shit is such a pain in the ass. So,
Oh no,
I
no.
mean,
oh, what?
It looks like this currently because I went in and I edited it. It looked worse.
oh no.
Oh, wow.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
How
Yeah.
could it be worse?
Holy shit. Holy crap. I didn't actually know that.
What the fuck?
So yeah, as you can see, yeah, no, there it is. You can see it right here down at the bottom.
Yep.
That's how it looks.
Oh no.
Oh no, Gura wrote this book.
All right, we are in for a treat, and we don't even know what the story is about yet.
The viewers can't really see it because the chair is kind of in the way, but there is a lot of scuff inside the ebook itself.
It's
That's all.
kind of horrifying, all things being equal.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so
Think
take
about
note,
it,
everyone, of
this'll
how
be-
much here
this
is
is how
highlighted.
far you have to come.
This is all highlighted, right, Twilight?
Yep, the whole thing, every single bit.
Oh my God.
Remember,
Why is that a W? What the fuck?
don't
Yeah,
ask these
yeah.
questions. Don't ask these questions. You won't get any satisfying answers. I asked these questions, and you know what I got? Pain.
Yeah. So,
But
anyway, this isn't actually the book that I'm going to be reading off of. It is that was just for joke purposes. So I'm gonna be, if I can, switching over to a different. Oop.
Give it a minute.
Yep.
Yep,
Give it a
yep.
bit. And while this is working, just to fill up with time, I suppose, my quote-unquote backstory for this, with
There we go.
Twilight quote-unquote tricking me into this particular series, is the fact that we were just got to talking, we talk about writing, we talk about characters a lot, just simple stuff in the tundra that you can have fun doing. And she mentioned, have you ever heard about unicorns of Balinor? And I was like, no, I have. Wait, sorry.
No, because you told me about like naming, like proper nouns and namings and all that, and I'm like, no,
right.
you give me war flashbacks.
Oh no. Oh yeah. No. Now I remember. Okay. So the bits of it was I was working with Twi's book. That's what it was. Fucking hell. I completely forgot
Yeah.
about this. But I was working with her
Yeah.
book. She's a good writer, by the way. Throwing that out there.
See.
But she capitalized like every little thing, and I'm not too good at editing myself. I'm a decent beta reader, but I'm not too good at editing myself, so I didn't know the proper like grammar for everything, if everything needed to be capitalized. And then she mentioned, do not talk to me about capitalizing everything for no proper reason.
Yeah.
And then we started
You
talking
haven't
about
seen what I've seen.
yes.
You know,
Yes.
out of all that, I just like that you called grammar, because it really,
I
grammar
know.
does wind up being a big, messy pile of sludge at the end of the day.
Okay, fair enough, but still.
Also, Chia says, I remember when Celtic said, whenever he hears Reploid, it reminds me of reptiles. Well, I imagine your head on Gifford, Rex, Revy, or Monty Gator from Security Breach. I don't know. I don't know what that is.
I don't know
Neither do I.
Gifford Rex Revy, but Monty Gator I know, and I'm just, why do you imagine my head on his body? That's a choice.
I mean,
Unique,
hey,
I
at least
suppose.
we got the Kaiser Rex from one of the other streams.
I was gonna say, I'm the one
Was
that
it
killed
last?
Bonnie, apparently.
Oh damn. But after talking about this, Twilight basically said, "Hey, here's a short history of these books," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll read a few things." And then she just slid the book in front of me with a like demonic smile on her face, and now I'm cursed with knowledge.
Yep.
I think the first time I stopped ranting at you because it felt like annoying to send stuff to you. I assumed I was being annoying. Let me clarify.
No,
But-
no,
oh.
it was catharsis. It was nice to have someone vindicate me.
Okay, so first 5 chapters had me screaming at a screen.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
We will get there in a second. I'll just say this. If you like pets, if you like taking care of animals, this first book will make you want to hurt someone within the first 5 chapters.
Oh my god!
That
I thought you said, "Oh,
And-
it makes you want to strangle a cat."
No, it won't. I like cats actually.
it's like,
but
oh, I'm glad you clarified that.
Yeah.
I like how the default is. Oh no, I would totally strangle a cat if I didn't like them.
oh, 100%. But the other thing that would get you angry is, and this is why I think Twilight is giggling behind her avatar, because if you know anything about like law or anything like that, you will be screaming. And honestly, Celtic, I cannot wait until we get to it.
Oh,
Oh,
I actually, Raymond was one of my first victims in the tundra
Yeah,
Oh,
when it
no.
comes to this.
the thing is, it's been so long since we've actually discussed it in depth. I only remember scant traces of this. I cannot
Oh,
wait to
boy.
rediscover the nightmare.
Oh,
Yes.
we are ready.
So, yes. Let's get into Unicorns of Balinor. This is my Kindle copy. So I'm reading this on Amazon's Kindle browser, and that's what you're seeing now. And I got so mad at this book the moment that I turned the pages. Well, for one thing, the book cover compared to the one that you've been staring at since the beginning of the stream is so ugly. Why?
It looks like a still from a PS1 game.
Yeah. Who is this? Look at this unicorn, and who is this? This is not a character in the book.
Oh,
It is just a generic unicorn.
damn false advertising. Not a great
I know.
start.
Yeah, exactly.
I love how they're like, we don't really have anything in the foreground, and this ugly 2D grass texture isn't really selling it. What can we put there? I know, 3 mushrooms right near the unicorn's ass. That's what we need. That'll really make it pop. And the sad part is, yeah, it's better than nothing, I guess.
But sir, it looks like in the background those trees are hanging off a nothing hill.
I know those poor trees are going for a nosedive. That unicorn better fucking move or it's gonna get crushed.
It's horrifying.
Yeah.
Also, the way they it's because I'm looking at a lower quality through the stream, obviously, and you guys are getting even lower quality through the stream. But the way that the hair covers the horn makes it feel like there's kind of like 2 horns there.
Yeah.
It's like
I
one in
think
the
that
center
is-
looking like pointing right at the camera, but then like one that's slightly offset off to the left. It's sort of like
So I'll be
No,
100.
that is
Honestly-
what it looks like.
I was gonna say,
God.
I thought there was like a horn or it was an ear that was like in a weird place. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude,
No,
those
like,
mushrooms. Oh, God.
There's the horn right here. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but there's a
can see it,
horn
I haven't.
right there. There's an ear right there. There is something right there, and then there
What?
is like something right there.
What?
You know that like blank space in an X-ray that you can see when something's inside someone? Like that's what it looks like. That's superimposed onto this.
Oh
oh
my
no,
God.
oh no, it's punished unicorn. Oh no.
What?
Have you guys from Metal Gear Solid, Punished Venom, Punished Snake?
Oh, yeah, the unicorns.
Oh,
The unicorns
okay, got it,
killed
got
so
it,
many
got it.
people. The horn has come out.
Venom. He has like that's the
Also,
whole
those-
mechanic in the game. The more immoral things you do, the more his horn becomes exaggerated.
Yeah.
Open a new tab.
Also,
Okay,
can I
so-
just say those mushrooms look like they came from Pikmin. Like, what the fuck are those? Look at those textures, dog.
Yeah.
Fleur, what is this book about? Who wrote it?
We're gonna get to that. That's gonna be what the majority of the stream is gonna be, because we're gonna be combing through this in excruciating detail.
those
Oh,
unicorn, those
Jesus.
mushrooms are the unicorn snack. I'm sorry, they're the author's snack.
Yeah. And if you remember, Kaiser and Raymond, back to the episode pilot stream that we watched,
Yeah.
I did say that that Unicorns of Balinor and Princess Guinevere and the Drill Riders had a connection with one of the guest writers.
Oh, that's right.
is-
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, I
Yeah.
see where we're going with.
Yeah, the guest writer for a couple of episodes of Unicorns of Balinor, or for Princess Guinevere and the Drill Riders, was Mary Stanton, the woman who wrote Unicorns of Balinor.
I remember when you mentioned
Well
that,
then.
and I was just like, wait, this show is good though.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a bit. Maybe like with time, skills grew. I'm trying to be nice here, man.
Well, Princess Guinevere and the Drill Riders came out in like 1996.
I was gonna
Oh,
say,
This
like,
came out in 1999.
Oh,
yeah.
well, I got my timeline completely mixed up. Then never mind. Forget me.
Damn, this book is as old as I am. Shit.
Damn, you're that old.
Yeah.
He's a baby.
Oh boy.
Okay, Grandma. Anyway.
Anyway, so outside of the cover being so low quality, this book made me mad right off the bat because I got excited, only to be disappointed. And that's because, spoiler alert, this is an 8-book series. It's actually a 9-book series.
Yes.
Sorry, what?
This entire series is a lost epic.
The final book never came out.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
It's like a dude. She's got.
She
what's
just
his
stopped.
name? He's got the
Well-
R. Martin syndrome.
Well, you have to understand, the wait between the 8th book and the 9th book is longer than Winds of Winter, so she is superior to Martin in this regard.
Yes.
Has she-
Yes.
do we know if she's just given up on it or not?
I don't even, to be honest with you, I don't even know if she's alive anymore.
She just
Let us-
fell
let
off
us
the
take
face
a-
of the earth.
Mary
Yes,
Stanton.
She
yeah.
fell off the earth in 2013. She has not had an internet presence since 2013. The year after these Kindle books came out, she dropped off the face of the internet.
What the fuck happened 2013?
I don't know. So the book, this book goes on to say, where
Oh, wait,
is
wait,
the-
wait.
Huh?
What?
Folding?
What?
Mary Stanton
can't hold
obituary
any
online
horses
memorial
because-
2019.
Are you sure that it's the correct
That's
Mary
what I'm
Stanton?
trying to figure out. When was that Mary Stanton born?
Because our Mary Stanton, I think, goes in between Florida and New York.
1947. So no, this is not her. Okay. All right. Now, the Wikipedia says that she is still currently alive because there is no active death date. I don't know if just no
Yeah.
one cares or...
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know. I have tried to search within the realm of it being like not creepy, and I can't find anything.
Can we email
And
her publisher or like mail them physically and just like it's a fan mail ostensibly, but the only thing on it is Dear Mary Stanton. Are you still alive? We don't want the next book. We just want to know if you're okay.
It's like that
No,
scene
no.
from it's like that scene
do-
from Atlantis, The Lost Empire, where the guys are like, "Okay, sound off. Who's not dead?"
Oh, love that scene.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
I do want the final book because I want closure.
I can just imagine Twilight writing to Scholastic and said, "Dear Barry Stanton, yo bitch, still breathing?" Question mark.
But yeah, so I checked the links here. I thought that like her website, her personal website, marystanton.com, that does not exist anymore.
Makes
Like
sense.
you click it and it just doesn't exist anymore. I originally thought that that her publishing house also didn't have a link for her anymore because you click this link and it also 404s out. So I thought, what's going on? It turns out she just wrote the URL wrong. It's supposed to be Mary Stanton, not just Stanton.
Oh, well, I thought it was the
Wow.
the missing L in HTML.
Yeah, that too.
You think, but
Josh Thomas More News says Amazon doesn't have a death date for her either, so I think she's still around. Okay.
Yeah, but like, in
we
some
have
ways,
to
that,
know.
yeah, we have to know. In some ways, having a death date for a person requires them to be famous enough for people to pay attention to whether or not they're still alive and to update their social media pages and all that kind of stuff. and
True.
for
They need to be boogie famous. I guess.
yeah, for some more obscure people who have published books and stuff, nobody knows when they died or whenever because
Kaiser-
nobody bothered to check.
Kaiser, Boogie will be dead long before he's actually dead, so he can cash in on it.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
I'm waiting for him to like reveal his own death certificate, man.
It's right here. My fucking
And
tipple
Keem
told
will pay
you.
and Keem
Oh,
will
no.
actually pay to make that too. That's the worst part.
So this is the part that made me angry right off the bat. It says, "It has been a long time since I have been able to spend time with the unicorns of Balinor. I am unbelievably happy that I can write about this magical land once more. If you are new to Princess Ariana and her golden unicorn, the Sunchaser, I hope you will fall in love with them as I have. If you are one of those wonderful readers who have been waiting patiently for Chase and Aries' return, well, we already shared the magic and there is more to come. In early 2012, I will finally be able to continue Aries' story. Book 9 in the series will tell of a new and terrible enemy that threatens the kingdom and of Aries' determined search for her family. For the first time, the Unicorns of Balinor are available on ebook editions." 2012, guys.
So,
Damn.
oh no, wait, nope. George has her beat then.
She said that it was supposed to be that she was starting to work on it in 2012. We'd been waiting for this since 2000.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah,
This is
I
so
don't
good.
I don't think we're ever gonna get this book, man.
Oh god. At this point, this book is like the Dead Sea Scrolls of the last tablets to the Epic of Gilgamesh for Twilight.
Yeah. All right. Like the bottom of the text says, "On to Balinor." Quite literally. So here we don't actually start the novel with the titular main character, Ariana. We start in a place called the Celestial Valley, and proper capital letters for Celestial Valley, and the sky over the eastern ridge slowly turns pink. And here's my first highlight. A few
great.
unicorns stirred in their sleep. All slept peacefully. The Celestial Valley was their home and had been since time began. Above the valley, between the clouds that drifted across the sky, was the home of the gods and goddesses who created them, who will never be mentioned again.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah, there's a pantheon of gods out there. They don't matter. Moving on.
Yeah.
Okay.
below the valley by way of a rocky, treacherous path known only to a few, which also gets retconned later in this very book.
What?
Yes.
We don't need a treacherous valley.
Humans.
Who needs one?
Yeah, who needs that?
No, it's a treacherous path from the Celestial Valley. Like it's like the Celestial Valley is on top of a mountain, and then there is a treacherous path down to the world below that. But that gets retconned. The path never gets mentioned again because she just changes it to a Bifrost.
How do you have a valley?
The
on
Bifrost
top
of
a mountain?
Doom.
That's typically not. You don't typically have like. Is it a concave mountain? Does it like
Magic.
Okay.
I don't know.
I like to imagine like there's just like two more mountains on top of this mountain that's teetering like a seesaw.
Yeah, like because the celestial unicorns already kind of function as godlike beings in this world, and then there's like a singular other entity that gets mentioned. It's never mentioned that she's a goddess. Never ever, and I checked all of the books for ever mention that the old mare of the mountain was a goddess. It's never mentioned. So this canonically is the only time that the gods and goddesses of this world are ever mentioned. They just don't exist after this paragraph.
That's okay.
I mean, I was gonna say like bringing up gods existing or like the concept of them and then not really elaborating on them, fine. But like not even have characters acknowledging they have knowledge of this. Like that's another thing altogether.
Are they ever going to use like their names of like pejoratives for like, oh, Odin's beard or something like that?
No, never. The only character that ever gets mentioned is the being called the Old Mare of the Mountain, but she's never mentioned to be a goddess. She's only mentioned to be this strange being who is very mysterious, like in the same way that we as regular human beings would view a unicorn if we ever saw her.
Oh,
So
okay.
she is the unicorn of the unicorns.
You were saying
I
mare
thought-
as in female horse, Mare. My brain was
Did you-
registering it as Mayor.
Yes, the old
What?
The mayor.
The
The mayor of
Yeah,
Townsville.
it's the. No, it's Mayor Sir Topomat.
I'm just imagining the the Monopoly guy coming down from the Celestial Mountains. And everyone...
Exactly.
So, continuing on with this lore dump, we actually finally get information that is relevant to the story. In this world, there was Balinor, the country guarded by the celestial unicorns, and then there was the land beyond the Gap. The Gap, capital letters, was haunted by mists and legends. A few chosen unicorns had been down to Balinor. Fewer still had crossed the Gap to Earth. But for thousands of years after each sunrise in the Celestial Valley, all the unicorns had gathered shoulder to shoulder to form the rainbow. Then they would sing in the new day.
So wait, what
What?
I'm getting from this is, if I were to just go to the mall, walk into the nearest Gap, and then just like I guess trip through a pile of clothing, I would just wind up somewhere in Balinor.
Yes.
Well, you see, it's like Narnia, but worse.
Yeah.
Well.
It's Narnia, but trendy in the early 2000s.
Ooh, yeah, you're right.
Oh. Okay, so like part of the reason why I highlighted that whole thing was that we do get this lore dump, and then in the same paragraph it just switches to a completely different topic. And I think that this is actually a thing that is in my physical copy of the books as well.
I was about to say, like, it feels so divorced from the information that we get, like, previously.
Yeah.
like
This is the importance of
okay, we
paragraph
talk about
placement.
this is the place, this is where the unicorns are sleeping, and everything is good and all that, and then there's this gap, and then the gap isn't all that meaningful, and it's like, okay, why do you even bring it up?
Yeah, the
No,
exposition.
the gap is meaningful, but
No, the
Oh,
gap,
okay.
it is meaningful, but the issue is that the exposition of this entire series basically is schizophrenic at the best of times.
yeah,
Oh, isn't that
She-
fun?
she really does have a problem with conveying exposition, as we'll see. So it goes on to say, Atlanta, the dream speaker, was up early. She hadn't rested at all that night. Just before the sun came up, she gave up trying to rest. She trotted up the eastern ridge to the watching pool to wait for the vision she knew would come.
Watching pool, all caps.
Yep, watching pool is all caps.
Okay.
Atlanta was the color of the sky before moonrise, a soft blend of lavender, violet, and shadowy grays. Her mane, tail, and horn were of purest silver. She was the mate of Numenor, the Golden One, leader of the Celestial Valley herd. As the dream speaker, Atlanta was the link between unicorns and the world of humans, just as Twilight was the link between night and day. Atlanta, alone of all the celestial unicorns, could appear in the dreams of both humans and animals alike, and she was able to call up visions from the watching pool, where magic allows Atlanta to watch the events in the world of humans below.
If anyone's wondering where Twilight's next video is, I mean, she's very busy. Her day job, actually day and night job, is connecting the day and the night. Like it's
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
she's very busy doing
Yes.
Yeah,
that.
exactly. And she
So-
connects that through coffee. Okay, that's a very important element of how she does this job. It's very important.
So,
Mhm.
a small thing. When I first read this, and like she was the mate of Numenor, I read that first, and my head happened to look over to the side where I have a book called "The Fall of Numenor" for J.R.R. Tolkien.
I was about to say that sounds so familiar.
Oh yeah,
it's the,
Numenor was the
it's
place
the-
to the south in Middle Earth,
No, it's
wasn't it?
It's the ancient land of humans given to them by the Valar after helping in I believe the First Age. I might be wrong on that, but they were
Yeah.
like they're the family that Aragorn comes from. They're the stronger, faster, smarter. They pissed off God, and he made the world round by sinking them.
Yep.
I know, right?
There is actually quite a few Lord of the Rings references in this book, including just straight up ripping off Sauron
Oh
in
yeah.
his eye.
That's funny.
Also, Kevin has got it right. The sea is always right.
Oh, isn't that like from freaking Rings of Power or whatever?
Oh yeah. It's so bad. I love
Please
it so
tell
much.
me their ripoff of the eye is just a giant ear.
No,
Unfortunate.
Oh, is it a
She-
giant nose? Is it a giant nose?
no. She just straight up rips off the eye.
Ow.
Boring.
And Fleur, yes, it is the place that God sunk. It's
Oh.
Middle Earth Atlantis.
Yeah.
Also, when you put emphasis on the words that are capitalized, it kind of reminds me of what Linkard does in
Yes!
his comic reviews.
I was about
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
say
you
that.
know what I'm talking about.
Whenever there's all caps.
Yeah.
I need to send you a comic panel where Doctor Doom is speaking. He says his name in full caps, and then a security guard right next to him says, "How do you do that?" "What? Speak in all caps."
Oh, I think I've seen that before somewhere. I think that might be on Twitter once or twice.
That's a Deadpool line right there.
Honestly, I love that
Probably
security
is.
guard. He deserves the best.
So, I'm skipping over all of the preamble where she just talks about how My Little Pony like the Celestial Valley is with its crystal rocks and its sapphire trees and rainbow trees and all that kind of stuff. And she finally makes it over to the watching pool and she dips her horn into the water and calls up visions of the Princess of Balinor. The silvery blue water stirred clockwise, faster and faster. Small waves slapped against the amethyst rock. The waters dimpled, as if an invisible hand scattered raindrops on the surface. Then the whirlpool stilled and an image formed in the water. Atalanta saw a slender, bronze-haired girl twisted in pain on a hospital bed. Her legs were bandaged from knee to ankle. "Ariana!" Atalanta called, but the girl made no answer. She slept, a deep, unnatural sleep that Atalanta's dreams couldn't reach.
Are you on
So
to a new
Atalanta
page?
had been right. Yeah.
It did not on cast. It doesn't look like.
Oh,
What?
really?
No, it's on my end.
Yeah,
I feel like you
same.
should probably refresh.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm okay because the highlights look roughly the same position as they did on the last page. My brain did not register we were even on a new page.
This just in, local writer
Congratulations.
cannot read.
Honestly,
Okay.
makes sense.
That's on me. I apologize.
No problem. So Atalanta had been right. Ariana had been gravely hurt. Atalanta's purple eyes filled with grief. So right off the bat, we know that the main character, Ariana, has been hurt. We know it because a horse in the magical world has told us so. Great. Wonderful.
Okay.
Glad the mystery has been solved in chapter 1.
The mystery of
Yeah.
what the fuck is going on? We don't really know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nope, no, we're never solving that mystery.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
A unicorn stallion knelt in a dark horse stall, head bowed so that his muzzle touched the ground. His coat was bronze, the same hair color as that of the girl in the hospital bed. Atalanta knew him. He was the Sunchaser, lord of the animals in the world of humans, bonded to Ariana and kin to Atalanta herself. Not so
What?
long ago. He's like her cousin or something.
Yeah, yeah, they're related. Congratulations.
I'm
Yeah,
not gonna ask. I'm not gonna
You see,
ask.
I was gonna say it's not super important if I'm being completely honest. Although if this were a Lily story, it would be super important.
Oh, yeah,
my
no.
God.
Of course it would be. Come on.
Like when I saw she's bonded to Ariana, that's all caps. I guess that's like a magical bonding thing. Or is
Yes,
it like
yes, it is.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
It is like a magical bonding, and this isn't the first time that we've dealt with magical bondings, isn't it, Raymond?
Oh no, it's not.
That does not sound right.
Although I do like the image of just this poor girl just strapped to the side of this fucking horse, just dangling limply, just like
yeah, maybe
"Ah."
that's why she's writhing in pain, lady.
Oh yeah, no. The only reason why I emphasize like the kin to Atalanta herself, it's like this is such clunky exposition.
Philip Schwartz says, I didn't think this was going to be bad fan fiction night. I mean, it's kind of like that a little bit. We could
little
have read
bit.
this for bad fan fiction, but this seems a little more analysis and a little less commentary from the
It's
Yeah.
Peanut Gallery.
more analysis. And I think everyone who here who's been a writer or tried writing exposition, getting that out naturally, it is hard. Like I'm
Yes.
not going to knock anyone who's saying, "Oh, it's hard to get out this exposition." But there's a difference between having the subtlety of a gentle caress of the face or a sledgehammer.
Also,
True.
this not only is this not even her first book series, it's not even her first children's book series. She had released in the 80s a series called The Heavenly Horse on the Westernmost Front. And that was a 2-book series. And then she also released a crime mystery series under a pen name. And then also there's like this other series that she also published at the same time under her like legal name. So like she's published a lot of books prior to writing Unicorns of Balinor. This is not her first rodeo.
Ironically.
Not by a long shot. Yeah. Not so long ago, Atalanta watched the Sunchaser, tall and proud down in Balinor. Now he lay wounded on the other side of the gap. There was a bloody stump at the center of his forehead where his bronze horn once had been. I want to emphasize bloody stump and bronze horn.
Interesting.
Okay.
Those are not going to be staying consistent for very long.
Oh, that's great.
He groaned once, enduring a pain-filled sleep. Sunchaser, Atlanta called. The great unicorn raised his head, and Atlanta quivered. His bronze horn was gone! A cruel white scar was the only reminder of his former glory.
Oh. So, yeah, not... Bloody stump be gone. Wow.
No. You have to
Yeah,
understand,
what the
unicorns heal really quickly. Yes, no, there was no blood. It is only your mind that remembers the word bloody. Come on.
Yep.
It's almost like,
Okay, I guess.
yeah, editor note, get rid of the bloody stuff for the kids. Like, okay, got it. Just completely fucking missed
Damn,
the
no
first
wonder.
reference.
Yeah.
Damn, no
The
wonder,
first reference a paragraph ago.
Okay, just a shit ton of gaslighting. That's great.
Oh, this is very consistent throughout the book series.
All right.
The only light we see by is by gaslight. I'm sorry.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my god, we're only on page 70 of 1551.
Yeah. The Sunchaser, greatest of those unicorns who roamed the world of humans, lay broken beyond the reach of the Celestial Valley herd. Ariana, the lost princess of Balinor, endured the pain of mangled legs, not knowing who she really was. Atlanta couldn't bear the horror of what would happen next in the watching pool, but she had to know. Did Entia, the evil shifter, know where the princess and her wounded unicorn were hidden? What if he did? What terrible vengeance would the shifter seek?
You might be wondering right now, what is the shifter? What's his connection? Why is it evil? These questions and more will not be answered. Sorry.
Never.
Oh.
He just is evil. Because.
I mean, okay,
So
are they evil because the fact that they're a shifter so they can have multiple evil mustaches, or what? What's like the spin?
I'm
Okay.
particularly fond of the days they feel like having a full Fu Manchu. That's actually very impressive. It looks good on them.
True.
I was gonna say they're evil because they recognize they're in Unicorns of Balinor and their books are never getting finished.
So, yeah, as you can see in the first chapter, any kind of mystery or intrigue that the book might have had for the kid is just absolutely gone. Not only that, but she repeats information that she already gave us within a page. Because she already told us that Ariana was injured and that she was the Princess of Balinor, and that Sunchaser was also injured and that he had lost his horn. And then right after that information, repeats the information about Ariana.
Repeats and then contradicts.
Yeah.
Like just within a breath span. It's very impressive that way. It's like I don't.
Yeah.
What? Maybe this was added after. I wonder if this was like giving benefit of the doubt, though I don't know if she deserves it. What if this was like the kids are totally getting lost how your story is going. Write a prologue that explains shit. It's like possibility.
For its detriment. For its
Yeah.
detriment, I think. But yeah, like, because this certainly wasn't edited in afterwards, because the book series, I don't think, well, I think that, like, physical print, it's gone out of print, but the Kindle books are still being sold on Amazon. And the Kindle version is pretty much the same as the physical version. Maybe there's a few more spelling errors as
Yeah, no, I was definitely implying that it would have been like the first draft of this was been like, oh, it's too confusing, write a prologue. Like, and they would have second draft or third or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad that everyone is noticing that I'm having fun talking about this.
I remember
It
there's
is
something about
a
like
joy.
The more like broken legs are referenced, the more I'm remembering there is something particular involving a broken leg.
Yes.
We're getting there, buddy.
Oh God.
That's why I made the joke to Critter, because she told us earlier, break a leg, guys.
Oh my lord, playing a bridge Vegeta mustache. I remember that. Holy shit.
So chapter 2. Oh yeah, I guess I wanted to kind of take a moment away from Unicorns of Balinor for a second, just to like compare it to another childhood book series of mine. I don't know if you guys can see that.
You can.
Yeah, you
I
can.
see. Yeah.
I just wasn't sure.
On a unicorn.
Yes. Wish Upon a Unicorn by Vicky Bloom. This came out the same year. The main difference is Unicorns of Balinor was published in America. Wish Upon a Unicorn was published in Canada. And the story is set in Alberta. Calgary, specifically.
Damn, a War of the Nations.
I know. I like the part of the reason why I'm so endeared to this book series in particular is because like, oh, names of towns and cities that I actually recognize. But like there's such a stark difference between the first chapter of Unicorns of Balinor and Wish Upon a Unicorn. And if you guys will just let me also
there's a map.
Holy shit, a map!
Yeah, a map.
I like maps.
I want no one
Golly.
to discount maps, all right? As someone who has made personalized maps for every story of his thus far, every book I've published, with the exception of Forged Within Flames, because that didn't need a map, that was just Japan.
Yeah.
Maps take a lot of fucking time and effort, guys. Do
Oh, yeah.
not, if you see a map at the beginning of the story, someone had to make that, and it took a lot of fucking time. So please appreciate that, even if it's a bad map.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Respect geography.
So I'm just gonna very quickly, if I can, read this first chapter. Erica's troubles all began when she fell through the crack in her grandmother's kitchen floor. Although Erica loved her very much, she knew her grandmother was not the usual kind. Grandmother kept lizards in her bathroom sink. Wild plants hung from her ceiling in bunches. Strange bottles stood in rows on her pantry shelf. A painted stick and a cloak hung in her front hallway, and she had cracks in her floor big enough to fall through. I got so excited to read this. I forgot to say like why else I was going to compare these two book series. They're actually very, very similar structurally. So the basic plot of Unicorns of Balinor is a girl that is on Earth who finds out that she is actually from a magical land, and also deals with unicorns. And the whole story is to fight against an evil in order to reclaim her land and restore the balance of her magical world. The story of Wish Upon a Unicorn is the story about a girl who winds up in a magical land, realizes that she is the granddaughter of the queen of this world, and has to go on adventures with her newfound unicorn friend in order to defeat the evil and restore peace to this world. And their names are Arica and Ariana. They're incredibly, coincidentally, incredibly similar.
For
Is
legal
there like
reasons,
a secret war between us and Moose Country that I didn't know about?
Well, but
How do you have
Never
cracks
actually-
so big in your fucking floor that you can fall through?
Yeah, Jesus.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I'm nothing. I'm just impressed too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought Detroit houses were bad.
Hey, you know what? Could be Detroit. I mean, I know it's Canada, but it could be Detroit. I don't know.
Yeah, good.
I mean, I'd be happy
Calgary-
if I'd be happy if Canada took Detroit from us.
Take him to Detroit.
No. Oh
Anyway.
God, I wish we had streamed the Ables. The best moment in that
Yeah.
fucking book was them being teleported to fucking Cleveland.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Cleveland.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Moving on. Arica fell for a very long time. She didn't remember the cellar being quite so far down. But then she had always seen the cellar as a good place to stay out of. It was too dark and had too many damp smells and strange noises coming from the corners. The 2 times she had gone down, not very eagerly, were to get bottled peaches. But they weren't all the way in the back. They were kept close to the stairs because they were grandmother's favorite and the reasons for most trips to the cellar. Arica landed with a thud on the hard, cold floor. The jolt rattled her teeth, took her breath entirely away, and jarred every bone in her body. She lay where she fell, trying to gasp, but not doing very well, and wondered how long it would take for her to die from a lack of air. Would it be long and painful, quick and easy, or somewhere in between? That's when she noticed the trolls. 2 of them had come out of nowhere and were standing over her. She wasn't sure how she knew what they were, since she'd never seen a troll in her life until this moment. But she could tell by their large, glowing red eyes, by their pale, warty skin, and now that her breath was returning, by the terrible way they smelled. She tried to yell for help, but she was still too short on air to make a sound.
Lance Corporal Anime Guy says, we remember in December the day Balinor is freed and made the enemy bleed. Then the wing hussar arrived, coming down the mountainside, fire and steel. I don't get that reference.
And the winged hussars arrived.
That doesn't help.
It's a Sabaton song. It's a meme where it's like, oh, we do this, and then the winged hussars arrived. It's pretty funny.
Okay.
Also, very descriptive of the final battle.
Fun times in Cleveland today. It's Cleveland. Okay, sorry. Thank you, Robbie, for reminding me of that.
The final battles in Cleveland.
Grandmother was gone. This was the reason Erica was here watering the plants in the first place, and the nearest neighbor was 92 years old. Ugly little thing, isn't she? Said one of the trolls. He spoke in a language other than English, yet Arica understood every word. Yes, said the other, practically shuddering. But it's not her fault, the first admitted. It's all that human blood running through her veins. Still, you have to agree she's frightful even for a human, the second one went on. She has hair like a scrub mop and eyes with hardly any color, he shivered. She looks like a bundle of sticks just put together with string. What do you want her for, anyway? Never mind.
Oh, wow, they just call her gay? Like, defamatory?
God, Raymond!
Wow, that's a way to get around that.
The fuck, dude?
Am I wrong?
Well, that's all for the Team Jack podcast, so I'm gonna jump ship before I get canceled.
Kaiser, it's already too late for you. See what it says.
I mean, that's true. I already made the Bumblebee video, so
I mean, personally, well, I don't even have a Twitter. If I get canceled before I even have a Twitter, frankly, I think that's a world record.
Huh. Okay. Never mind about that, said the first. Pick her up and let's get going. I'll be worn out before we're halfway there, the second one whined. I have a better idea. You take one end and I'll take the other. At that point, Arica regained enough of her wits to start hitting and kicking for all she was worth. It didn't take her long to realize the trolls were much stronger and much quicker than they looked. In a moment, the door in the farthest, darkest corner of the cellar opened with an eerie creak, and Arica was plunged headlong into icy darkness. By the time her breath had come back enough for her to begin to scream. But her open mouth was quickly stuffed with an old ratty handkerchief. Arica now found it so hard to breathe that she had to quit struggling and risk fainting dead away. The trolls continued downward. It looked to Arica like they were taking her through some kind of long underground tunnel. She tried to remember if she'd ever heard grandmother speak of her cellar, or what might lie under it, and come up with a blank. Well then, had her grandmother ever spoken of trolls? She couldn't recall She couldn't recall any talk of them since she was a kid, and that had only been in stories. Well, what about her parents? Father called Erica his little princess every now and then, mostly on birthdays. But that had nothing to do with trolls. Besides, the title never really suited her anyway. Princesses, at least the ones that she'd heard of, didn't love sports, climbing trees, and wearing faded blue jeans.
Lance Corporal
and her mother?
Gay means happy, you prude. It has multiple meanings. No, I'm referring to bundle of sticks. Look up the definition, bundle of sticks. You will find a very particular word. That is the joke. I am sad I had to spell it out for you.
I mean, if you want to be sadder, don't read the original copies of The Hobbit.
I actually mentioned that to Raymond. It had been over a year since I stopped reading the final book of the Lord of the Rings, and I picked it up again just on random the other day as I was walking out, and it was the scene of Gandalf saving
Pippin?
Sorry?
Fëanor?
Yeah, Fëanor.
Mhm.
Yeah, saving Fëanor from the fire, and he said that he leaped on to the. I just I knew what he meant, but I couldn't help myself. I just burst out laughing because I just wasn't expecting it. Anyway. And her mother? All Erica ever got were lectures on keeping her face and hands clean, being more tactful, and getting her schoolwork done. Erica was absolutely, completely, bet your life upon it certain that her mother had never brought up the subject of trolls. The tunnel ended suddenly. Erica and her captors spilled out at the base of the steep hill at the center of a thickly wooded forest. Erica looked back, and then stared in amazement at the cave opening and blinked out of existence behind them, leaving only a blank wall of hill, trees, and foliage. She started to struggle anew and was rewarded with a sharp jab between her shoulder blades. By the time her back quit hurting, the ground had leveled off, and glimmers of light were beginning to peek through the darkness overhead. Soon the sky had grown bright enough for her to make out the branches of the surrounding trees and pale sliver of moon.
How long are we going to be reading this? Because like we're kind of like neglecting Unicorns of Balinor right now, which is the subject of.
Yeah, I know. I was actually going to stop reading it fairly soon, but it was just to emphasize how different the two first chapters are.
Absolutely. This is like right into the midst of it, and like everything happening is just boom, boom, boom. Like I 100%, like I think we could have actually just gone only a single page, and honestly it would have been so much better. Like that is just such a better written comparatively to what we get with Unicorns of Balinor, where it's just like, oh, we're just gonna force feed all this exposition. No. Here's an actual like moment of time from the main character's perspective, where she's like giving us information as she's trying to figure out what's going on. Like that's way more engrossing than just a horse looks in water and sees someone get leg hurty.
Yeah, it's like a more in-depth version of I looked at myself in the mirror so that I could describe myself to the reader.
No, Sean Fuldark. We can't stick to the good book. No. That's not what we're talking about today.
Maybe after we finish Unicorns of Balinor, we can do an opposite stream where it's just going through the better book and then looking at how good it is in comparison. But today is not that day.
All right, well, you guys pick this up. I'll be right back.
Sure. So, Chapter 2 starts with finally our titular main character, Ariana Langley, opening her eyes to the sight of a hospital room and slowly figuring out that she's in pain. Or very quickly, rather, pointing out that she is in pain. And immediately seeing that someone else is in the room with her. There is a fat woman sitting in a chair next to her bed, and Ariana emphasizes that she is large and familiar, and that is the main description that we ever get of this character, is that she is fat. "It's Anne," the large lady said helpfully. "The doc said that you might have a little trouble remembering." Anne was dressed in blue jeans, a red sweatshirt, and tent-like denim jacket. A little embroidered horse galloped across the jacket's breast pocket. Aries' head swam. It wasn't a horse. It was a unicorn. Anne chuckled nervously. "You recall anything at all, honey?" "My name. I remember my name." She rested her head against the pillows. Her stomach was feeling better now. "Ariana Langley." So, there's a particular reason why I chose to highlight all of that, and that is, why the fuck do you know what a horse is, Ari? It's gonna be established later in the book that there is no such thing as a horse in Balinor.
You know, you have to understand. That's it. I got nothing.
Yeah, no, there's nothing. Because, like, one of the problems of these chapters is that Stanton tells us exactly what kind of amnesia that Ariana has. And I looked it up. And the way that, it's Hollywood amnesia, effectively. Even though that she tells us that it is this very specific, real amnesia that people can suffer, she still treats it like Hollywood amnesia, where the only thing that she can remember is her name and the most recent thing that happened to her, despite the fact that, in reality, the specific type of amnesia that she has works in the opposite direction. The first thing that she would lose her memory of is the most recent thing that happened to her. And the hardest thing to lose is her older memories of, like, her early childhood, because they are the most cemented in her brain. But she doesn't remember anything of that. And it's not established that this is a magical amnesia whatsoever. It is specifically amnesia because of the accident that she suffered before the beginning of the book. And yet, she apparently knows what a horse is, despite the fact that there's no such thing as a horse in Balinor. There are only unicorns. And that is, like, one of the many, much specified elements of Balinor that she repeats. There are no such thing as horses in Balinor. There are only unicorns. And there are characters that when somebody says the word horse, they go, "What's a horse?" So how does she, right off the bat, know what a horse is?
She read the script.
I guess so.
That's the best I got. Like, legitimately, because this is something that I kept in my... What?
My explanation.
Yeah.
Horses is the derogatory word for a horse that has lost its horn, for a unicorn that's lost its horn.
If only that was an explanation, but it never is.
Sorry, I'm back.
That
What
would
did
have
I
been
miss?
better, actually. That flatly would have been better. But, like, I have in my notes, like, she knows what a horse is, but nobody else does, is a question that's like, I think this is just
Wait, what?
It's a...
I'm sorry, what did I miss?
Oh,
Sorry.
you left
Ari-
too?
Oh, God.
Well,
Why are you two leaving? I know what this book is.
I had to use the
sorry,
restroom.
Something important happened
Oh.
in the background.
Completely understand then. I apologize. At the same time, Celtic, hold in your piss.
Lance Corporal Anime Guy, are we blind people
Yes.
or deploy the fat jokes for the fat women?
Yeah.
Oh god, the fucking what is that reference to? Are we blind? Oh, that's Krennic. That's Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or blind, deploy this. But
Yeah.
long story short, Ari has Hollywood amnesia where she only really remembers like two things about herself. And she recognizes what a horse is. No one in Balinor knows what a horse is.
Yeah.
There's only unicorns.
That would be like an interesting like thing to correct. Like this little girl has no I don't know, whatever, teen or whatever. This girl has no memory of anything. But she's like, no, it's a unicorn. And it's like, why the fuck do you know what a unicorn is? That's very specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Like-
she's from our world, right?
Yeah.
So
By
it's
all-
like, how?
No, she's
By
from
all
Balinor.
knowledge. She is from Balinor, but by all knowledge, she is a normal person. So someone saying you know what a unicorn is, not
But
honey,
nothing else.
Why though?
Yeah. Because, like, that's the problem of the first chapter, is we already know that Ariana is not from Earth. She is originally from Balinor. And then later on, we'll learn that there is no such thing as a unicorn in Balinor. That they learned about horses after we came over the gap. Remember,
Raymond and Kaiser snuck away when no one was looking. I literally made a point to say, sorry, I'll be back in a moment.
yeah, Kaiser was the one that snuck away.
I was like, guys said nothing. Celtic flew away with like a little bit of a.
Yeah. But remember the first page of the book, they said that the gap was shrouded in mists and legends. Nobody knows really what is on the other side of the gap. So, by all accounts, from the knowledge of the characters that we are going to be following throughout this book, they shouldn't know anything about the world of the gap, about the world of Earth.
But there's a nice pond that allows them to just see through it whenever they please.
Yep.
I was about to say, does like the what's her name? The dream horse, the dream unicorn, whatever. Is she like the only one? Atlanta. Is she the only one with access to the pool, or can anyone just go there?
I mean,
she's the only one with access to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that.
It has a nice picket fence and a little keep out sign on the gate.
Oh yeah,
like people feel really bad when they go up to it because they know they're not supposed to be around it. Like, come on.
It's a cool hangout spot for like the teenagers, though. You know, they smoke.
Oh yeah, totally. Gotta shoo them every once in a while.
Yeah, but like it just emphasizes this in the next scene that I highlighted, where Aerie falls back to her pillow and then she remembers something else. The sound of black flies buzzing. A great bronze four-legged creature plunging in front of her. "Chase!" she shouted suddenly. "Where's Chase?" Anne calms her down. She looks over her shoulder. "Chase is fine," Anne said. "It's a miracle, really. I thought that poor, horse was a goner." She had to correct herself and not say unicorn. For some reason.
I respect the horse's pro.
But came out of it with a big old bump on his head. "Chase is a horse?" Aerie frowned. "That's not..." She trailed off. Her head hurt. She couldn't remember a thing about who she was or where she'd been, just her name and the tunnel.
The tunnel. Secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel through the mountains. Secret tunnel.
I knew someone was gonna sing it. I would have started. I would have done it if no one else did.
So the doctor comes in after the short conversation about Chase. For sure, for real, guys, being a horse, he is definitely a horse, guys. I guarantee it to you. The doctor comes in, and then we learn something. We learn something about Aerie as a person. She's a bit of a martyr.
Okay.
"Can you sleep a little now, Aerie?" Her voice was kind. "Yes," Aerie said. "Are you in a lot of pain?" "No," Aerie lied. And then because the doctor is not an idiot, she still gives her a shot of morphine.
I'm gonna give you a mild painkiller. Try not to get addicted to it.
Don't worry. Mighting Morphine Power Rangers.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, we're out of morphine, so I'm just giving you straight heroin.
Oh no.
So,
Wasn't it heroin that was developed to try and
maybe
actually replace morphine as a non-addictive substitute?
Not a clue, man.
Anyway, the doctor goes on to explain that she specifically has retrograde amnesia, which, you know, retrograde, meaning you lose the most recent memories first. So again, Hollywood amnesia.
Well, I like the idea. It's like, you have retrograde amnesia. What's that? Well, it's a condition where you lose your memories first. What condition? Retrograde amnesia. What's that? Just get stuck in the loop.
Yeah.
The doctor says, I'm surprised that she even remembers her name. She seems to recall a few things about her life before the accident, but bits and pieces, nothing more. It's going to take a while, and I have to tell you, Mrs. Langley, her entire memory may never come back. So, the first page of the second chapter, Ariana Langley opened her eyes. And we're making the assumption here that Anne's last name is Langley. I guess a little bit of spoilers for as we go into the further into the book. Anne and her husband are Aries' foster parents, not her actual parents.
I was gonna say, what would be more interesting if she didn't have any amnesia whatsoever, and instead it was they just thought that she was crazy.
Yeah, might have been more interesting.
That would have been way more like engrossing
like-
from the fact that like she's talking about I'm the princess from this world of Balinor and I own all the unicorns and shit, and the parents are like, yeah, she's schizophrenic. She's had this condition for a couple of years. And we've been struggling with it as a family.
Yeah, and all the
but, you know,
drugs just not helping.
You know, but normally she doesn't, you know, do anything that would hurt. But like she was out riding a horse the other day and bumped her head, and she's like, "It's not a horse, it's a unicorn." It's, you see, we're like, it's a big struggle for a family, and we just haven't found the right medication yet. Like just this very somber, like serious, like discussion scene. She's just over here like, "I'm a princess, Dr. Han."
Honestly, that would actually be perfectly in line with the book, because as we'll see as we go further into the book, Anne and her husband Frank are gaslighting Ari hard.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
you weren't kidding when you said that's a theme in this book.
There's a reason why I said gaslighting is the only light way we read.
Yes. And it starts in this chapter where they emphasize that Chase is a horse and that she was in a horse riding accident. And even Ari is like, Chase isn't a horse. But they're like, no, he's a horse. Like, are you sure? Yes, we are sure that he is a horse. Okay, then.
Chase is a horse. The horse is amazing. Give it a lick.
It tastes like raisins.
With a stroke. I could go into the whole song.
Don't continue that song.
Well, I better not show you where the lemonade is made. Sweet lemonade. Sweet lemonade. Lemonade. Yes, sweet lemonade.
Oh,
boy.
YouTube.
Kaiser things in the back.
So, the doctor goes on to say that her legs were so horribly mangled in the accident that it's going to be a struggle to see whether or not she'll even be able to walk after this. But the doctor is going to try and give her the use of her legs. Which I looked up the kind of break that Ariana had, and the recovery time for it is about the same as what it is in the book, roughly, if not slightly shorter. And there was nothing that I could find about the potential never being able to walk ever again, so I don't know where this is coming from.
It's probably a case of the author trying to like over dramatize everything.
Or now hear me out. The doctor's in on the gaslighting.
Or I was going to say, okay, so hear me out, okay? Remember that whole retrograde amnesia thing? She just recently learned how to walk.
No. Retrograde amnesia. It's spread out to everybody. They all drank the amnesia water, and just like everyone's got amnesia. No one knows what they're doing.
What is amnesia rebirth?
Remember the T virus? This is the A virus.
She goes on to say, there will be scars, of course, and perhaps a permanent limp, but your foster daughter's very fortunate, ma'am. She's not going to lose either leg, not if I can help it. And Ari is very concerned about potentially losing her legs, but because of the drugs that the doctor gave her, she quickly falls off into sleep. Until, like, the next paragraph, where she wakes up again immediately. So I don't know why she didn't end the chapter there.
It's like, I drift up to... No, wait! Okay, we're back to sleep.
Yeah, it's. I'm just imagining like he just gives her morphine. She's like, hmm. And 1 second later,
Yeah. So it's already being very condescending to the reader, where Ariana wakes up and she remembers things that she had just learned about herself in the last couple of pages of this chapter, because we're still on chapter 2, guys. So
Yep.
it's now a running theme where the last like page and a half of this book just has the chapters reiterating what we already read in the previous chapter. None of this seemed right, but Anne had she was Ari Langley. She was 13. She'd been in the hospital for several days, maybe more. There had been an operation on her legs. She had a horse named Chase and a foster mother named Anne. And she must have gone home, this place called Glacier River Farm that Anne had mentioned. None of this seemed right, but Anne had said that it was right, and Anne was her foster mother. That was what the doctor had said. But who was Ari Langley? What had happened to her?
but most importantly,
Dun, dun, dun.
why is Arian Langley?
More importantly, how is Area Langley? Also, I'm sitting
Like,
here and just like I'm like, so this is what happened to Asuka's kids after Evangelion.
Oh my god!
The worst timeline, honestly.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
worst timeline, yeah.
This is where she married
Honestly,
Kenji.
human instrumentality would have been
Oh. No, don't you dare say that, Celtic. Fuck you.
It's
what you
the
say?
worst timeline. It's the worst timeline.
That is true. Okay, fair.
Oh my god.
so
Also, when she said when they say I'm Ariana Langley, she's 13 years old. Yo, Ariana Langley, she's just 13. Her parents built a very strange machine designed to fuel a world unseen.
She's gonna take them all because she's Ari Langley.
There we go.
I was gonna say like
So
I
chapter
think there-
3
there has a lot of potential for that song. Actually, I might actually go and do that. Lance
Dude,
Local Anime Guy says, so can these unicorns talk like on Chronicles of Narnia? Or is it all telepathic because there's from cheap imports where the Lost Plagas 19 came from? What the
What?
Oh, are you referring to the disease that should not be named on YouTube?
Oh.
You're just using a term to get around that.
So
I-
can
I-
these unicorns talk like in the Chronicles of Narnia, or is it all telepathic? It's telepathic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
the-
they can. Okay, so it's a little bit of kind of a half and half. So it's technically telepathic, but in order to do so, they have to stab their horn through like your skin, so that the vibrations go through properly.
So chapter 3, we go back to Atalanta, the dream speaker, where she just kind of reiterates what happened, what we just fucking read in the last chapter.
Okay.
Atalanta wasn't sure how much time had passed on the other side of the gap. It may have been minutes. It could have been days. Ariana was talking to Annalie, one of the 2 servants that Atalanta had commanded to attend Ariana on the other side of the gap. She heard Ariana call her Anne. So, the reason why I highlighted this portion was to say that both Anne and Frank are denizens of Balinor. So they lived in Balinor up until this moment where they needed to go with Ariana to the other side of the gap. I just want to make that very, very clear for the future.
Hey,
No,
Twilight,
Okay.
Professor Twilight,
Yes,
I have a question.
Yes?
Didn't the exact book say that like very few people have ever like exited the gap onto Earth, and then the gap is filled with like mystery and mist and everything, and people don't know what it's about?
Yep.
So how the fuck is there like people specifically sent with this princess when like no one has ever really done this?
Doesn't really get explained in this book or even the books afterwards. Probably towards like book 7 or 8.
Understandable.
Yep.
I just whenever I hear the Gap, I just think of the clothing store and just the music from
Me
Dead,
too,
from
bro.
freaking Dead Rising, all the different like songs that you hear in the background of the mall just keep going through my head now. I wonder if that was a copyright. I can pull those up for the stream.
Anyway, oops. There's a tiny whirlwind that appears at the bottom of the pool. It rose swiftly through the water and burst into the air. It was a vision of black flies, thousands of them spanning in a vicious vortex of spite and hate. Atlanta forced herself to stand. Black flies were terrifying to her and her kind. There had been times, too many times, when the evil made by the shifter turned into swarms of stinging flies, filling the unicorn's ears and sensitive noses, blinding their eyes. So they're literally just horses.
Thus saith the Lord.
Yeah. They're like there's so many times throughout this book series that taking care of a horse, taking care of a horse, maintaining a horse, the horse's weaknesses and strengths are absolutely 100% no different from the strengths and weaknesses and care maintenance of a unicorn. Absolutely 100% no difference.
Lance Corporal Anime Guy, how Professor Diggory got to Narnia is less complicated. And yes, for the record, I did pull up Dead
A
Rising
billion
music.
times, yeah.
You have to understand, like, you can have like this like layer between two different. Oh, geez. No, sorry. The stream just for me, it's just like this big black ball.
Oh.
Everyone else other than Celtic.
Oh yeah, no. The reason why is because I pulled up YouTube on the other screen, so it covered up Discord. That's why.
Nope, that's me. But speaking as a writer / author, because Celtic gave me the title. Thank you for that, by the way.
He knighted you.
Buddy, you gave that
Exactly.
title to yourself by putting all that work and effort in.
I appreciate
I
it.
wanted to,
Let me tell
want to
the joke.
qualify though. There is no guarantee it means you are a good author. It just means you are an author. You
That's
gotta be careful
fair.
there with how those are
I
validated.
100%. I'm not gonna say I'm a good author, but to finish the joke at least. It's perfectly okay to have like this barrier between dimensions and everything else like that. This like this long-winded explanation, but like, come on, guys. Do we really need to like sit here in like chapter 2 and like discuss everything here?
Yeah, exactly. So here's the reason why I highlighted the part at the bottom. And I mentioned this earlier. Gradually, the light resolved itself into a lidless eye. There was a face and the form behind the eye, but yellow-green clouds of smoke obscured them. All Atalanta can see was the lidless socket, the pupil blazing red, the eye of Entia, the shifter.
So it's color inverted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just Sauron's eye color inverted.
What the fuck?
I mean, you could have at least given it like a goat pupil. That would have been kind of neat.
Yeah, no, but he will later learn in later books that he mostly takes the form of a black unicorn because he likes that form the best. So it's probably going to be a horse eye.
Wait. Oh, I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Like this is like edgy to hedgy right here. That's all I got.
Kinda is, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't end up being like everybody's favorite by the end.
I really hate the idea of like there's such laziness when it comes down to introducing the villain, because you're doing it all through prose instead of having characters like converse about him, like actually like getting the characters' emotions on display. I don't know, it comes off as so weak to me.
Yeah. So she gets freaked out by the image of Entia's eye in the pool, and she like stamps it out, and then she goes to talk to her husband, which he'll always be described by the same moniker.
Sunchaser,
Numenor was
the relative.
Numenor was the color of the sun at high noon. His shining mane fell to his knees. His tail floated like a golden banner. At the base of his golden horn, a diamond sparkled brighter than the sun itself. This jewel, like the jewels at the base of all of the unicorn's horns in every part of the Celestial Valley, held a unicorn's personal magic. And I highlighted that because it's kind of important.
Okay.
Well,
And I...
nope, Twilight.
Yeah?
No, I was gonna say nope, Twilight. I was gonna interrupt you. My apologies.
Okay. I did want to highlight the really dumb song that they sing to greet the sun, I guess. But I figured that I would spare you guys that.
Okay, if it doesn't start with "Here Comes the Sun," I'm not interested.
No, it starts with red and yellow, orange and green, purple, silver, and blue.
The rainbow we make defends those we guard in Balinor cities and fields.
Yeah.
It doesn't rhyme. It doesn't
Yeah, I
rhyme at all.
know.
What the
That's-
fuck?
yeah.
But
That's a true
terrible
insult right
song.
here. That's a true insult entirely. Like, you have this entire song about your culture and like this really big moment of like, here comes the sun. I'm gonna have that song stuck in my head. Fuck you, Kaiser. But like, here's this like really
Love
great
you,
thing.
buddy.
But yeah, I love you too. But but it doesn't rhyme. Like that feels more.
I was gonna say, like, I'm thinking of like, there's a couple of songs I know that don't rhyme, but they're very smartly shifted. Like the Irish Prayer, which is actually very beautiful. May the sun rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. It doesn't rhyme, but it has a lyricalness to it, and it's just a very pleasant well-wishing of someone who's leaving. It's like a very pleasant farewell. This is just red and yellow, orange and green, purple, silver, and blue. The rainbow we make defends those we guard in Balinor cities and fields. It's like,
It's hard
what
to make a
beat
rhythm
am
out
I
of that.
singing this to?
Yeah.
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah,
Dude,
exactly.
I never heard of Adlib the song.
Oh, is
Yeah,
it a
fair.
rap? Is it a rap? Did we get this wrong?
Oh my god! No,
I
it's
want
supposed to be a mumble.
I want the unicorns to just like suddenly do the like light drop and the screen shifts and suddenly they're all in like wrap chains and sunglasses and
Red,
everything.
yellow, orange, and green. Purple, silver, and blue. The rainbow we make
Boys in
defends
the
we
hood
guard in Balinor
instead of
cities.
hood.
Voice in the Oh, that's good.
But I highlighted this part because I've told IKnowNothing and Raymond this before, but I want to do my own version of Unicorns of Balinor, like very, very heavily going off track from what Unicorns of Balinor does, because I think that it misses the mark on so many different things. But this is a moment where I think of like there's a lot of unintentional characterization in the book that Stanton just doesn't utilize, either because it's a children's book and she doesn't think that that children would comprehend such a thing, or because she is too busy placing filler words and filler sentences into her books that in order to get the book published.
Which, by the way, kind of insults children, considering.
Yeah.
I mean, Artemis Fowl is a children's book, and that's like hardly considered the most standard.
Well, I was
Well-
gonna say, like, my go-to would be like, kids love Harry Potter. People love
Yeah.
fucking Snape, and in the books, Snape is a real bastard, but people still love
He
him.
is, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there is a little bit of a difference between a chapter book and a middle grade book. Not by much though, because they do heavily overlap their target audiences. A chapter book is, I think, between 7 and 12 years old, whereas a middle grade book is 9 to 12. 9 to 13 sometimes even. So, like, I think a middle grade book is starting to get into, like, the novelization of books, whereas chapter books are kind of like an in-between stage between elementary school books and middle grade books. But still, even then, it's like it's just so condescending to the intelligence of children, in that it really feels like Stanton is writing for children who can't read.
And as a child who couldn't read, I feel offended.
But
Wait, you're blind?
this is the
Heavily dyslexic, but
yeah.
I was joking, but I understand what you meant. Sorry.
oh,
This
fair enough.
this is the brief amount of characterization that I managed to glean from this.
All right.
The ceremony to greet the sun was over. Most of the unicorns dropped their heads abruptly to the grass and began to eat, which was their favorite occupation unless if there was work to be done below. So they don't care about the greeting of the sun to the point where it's just a routine to them, and as soon as it's over, they immediately go back to doing something more interesting. It's just something that they do because it's what you do. It's not because they actually believe in it.
There's
Okay,
no.
what if they did that because they were mimicking how the audience reacted to it in the book?
But there's no like religious aspect to it. There's no cultural aspect to it. It's just like, yeah, guys, get your 9 to 5. It's the sun.
Yeah, exactly.
Lance Corporal
And I
Anime
thought-
Guy, is this just Isekai Lord of the Rings with unicorns and just a cheap knockoff of something that was actually culturally better and didn't insult my intelligence? No, it's ripping things from Lord of the Rings. I don't think it is Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
it's
no,
just
no,
ripping
no.
stuff. It's just ripping stuff.
Yeah.
That's your reverse Isekai at the start here.
Yeah, it honestly is, yeah. I mean, so is Wish Upon a Unicorn, sort of. Like, the main difference between that is Ariana was born in Balinor, and she briefly got isekai'd to Earth, and just went back to Earth eventually. Arika, her parents, or her father at least, was born in Bundalag, and then he lost his memories and thought that he was human, and went on to live a life on Earth and married a human woman and had Arika. And Arika learns that her family is originally from the magical land of Bundalag, and she has to help her grandmother, the Queen of Fairies, in order to get everyone who is lost on Earth to remember that they're actually fairies.
And I'm just imagining this will be Mr. Crocker having a field day.
Fairy god unicorns!
I want that right now, actually.
If only Derek's were here. You can probably do that.
So, we turn the page again, and then we get a repeat information. And the Sunchaser, he's not dead. He has lost his horn and the jewel that holds his magic. He has lost the ability to speak. So, we do get a repeat of information, but we do get at least one sentence of new information, which was he has lost the ability to speak. But, you know, that also kind of still goes into, yeah, he lost his magic. We knew that already.
Seawits, how dare you besmirch Escaflowne by comparing it to this?
What?
Seems
Wait,
similar
wait,
to
wait,
Escaflowne,
wait,
but
what?
she's from the place
No
instead.
freaking
No.
shot. No.
No.
The beginning of Escaflowne is miles ahead of this. It is literally running track around this damn thing because there's, you know...
The
because
only
main
thing
girl
so far that they have
to
in
run
common is the isekai element. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to mute
so-
myself to stop myself from screaming too loud.
Yeah. Like, Hitomi's grandmother was always from Earth. She just visited Earth a couple of times when she was a little girl, and then never again. And then it was Hitomi that got isekai'd for a much longer period of time than we're aware that her grandmother spent there. So, like, she...
Said visited Earth. I know what you mean. But it's
Oh,
so
did I accidentally mess it up? Oops.
Yes, yeah. You said Hitomi's grandmother is from Earth, but she visited Earth. I think that's what happens when you're...
No, Yeah, I meant from Earth. She visited from Earth.
Okay, okay.
So then they go on to exposit more about Ariana and Sunchaser and their bond. The sacred bond between the princess and Sunchaser. Does the loss of his horn and the jewel mean that he is deaf and dumb to the princess too? Atlanta sighed. I don't know. A great deal depends on Ariana herself. We've never had sent a bonded pair through the gap before, of course. And the princess and the Sunchaser are more than just a bonded pair. They are the source of bonds between all human and animals in Balinor.
So wait, how is he
So
deaf
why
if he doesn't
didn't
have
you
his?
send them both through the gap?
Is his horn his antenna? Is that like a receptive tool? Like, is that why he's deaf? He can't receive AM
May
radio
as well
waves
be.
anymore.
Now he had 5G. Now he's back to just having no connection.
He's on the
It's a horrible
LTE.
time.
LTE
Yeah.
with only one
Yeah.
bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Dial up now.
So it's established here that the jewel at the base of the unicorn's horn is the thing that gives them their magic. And I'm going to assume that the horn is like the conduit to which they utilize their magic from the jewel. And without it, he can't use his magic because he doesn't have his jewel, and he can't conduit anything because he has no horn. So effectively, he is just a regular horse now.
Okay, but what? Wait, are they? Hold on. Are they both on Earth, or is Sun, or is like the
They're both on Earth.
that guy?
They're both on Earth.
Balinor?
No,
Okay,
they're
good
both
point.
on Earth. This is Atlanta and her husband Numenor, the Golden One, talking to each other.
He didn't
Gotcha.
pay his T hornbill bill.
Yeah. But here's what kind of like really got on my nerves. Numenor tapped his foreleg impatiently. He knew this. And so it's like, if you know this, why are you talking to each other about this?
bro.
Dude, just think it. My God, man! Like you're supposed to be a really important horse. So did you like?
God,
sniff-
I hate like retrospective, as you all knows.
Yes.
Aw,
Yeah,
that's
as
the
you know, Bob.
worst.
That kind of shit pisses me off.
Yeah, this whole conversation that admittedly is very important for the reader to know. It is an as you know, Bob, because both of them know it, and yet they're talking about it.
They're probably the two most influential and knowledgeable unicorns in the setting as of right now. They should like have a dictionary of this stuff like instantly, like stuff we learn in high school. But
Yeah.
we're getting hit by as you know, Bobs.
Yep. So he's trying to the dialogue is, or the prose is trying to defend this by saying what he didn't know was the consequences of what would be if the bond between the Sunchaser and the princess was broken. For generations, the royal family of Balinor had dedicated the firstborn princess to a unicorn from the Celestial Valley. The bond between the two was a unique magic, a magic that created the friendship between humans and animals in the world below.
Not to throw us off our steez here, but I have a friend who just tested something out of curiosity. They just
Oh, yeah?
uploaded Volume 1, Chapter 1 of Ruby to YouTube. And it didn't get stopped at all.
Oh.
Nani?
No
Or
one's
what?
at the wheel.
That's so
I-
funny.
Hold up. I'm sorry.
You'll be hearing about it in the future, but that's
Is it like in one video, or is it like in a playlist or something?
what do you mean? Like he uploaded,
No,
just straightly uploaded just episode 1 of Ruby.
Oh, just okay. I thought you said all of Volume 1. My bad. I misheard you.
Yeah, that was
Oh.
just episode. That's amazing. So there is currently no one at the wheel. That's fascinating.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
You have to
Now
be hearing about that in the
everybody's
future. At some
Just
point
gonna
soon.
upload each subsequent like chapter separately. So one guy does chapter 1, another guy has chapter 2.
Spread around the viewer rate.
They
Hey, Billy
can't kill
Donuts
us all.
arrived. Yeah.
Yeah,
Woo!
finally.
We need this to deal with the unicorns. Give me one of those
Yes.
ones that are shaped like a oh, what are they called? Is a cornetto or no? Not cannoli. The cone-shaped kind.
The cone-shaped kind.
I
So
Big donuts. Sorry.
Atlanta goes on to say that the magic of the shifter is changing, and he snatched the vision out of the watching pool. And they have a small conversation about that. And then he says, Entia, the shifter, our enemy?
Oh my god.
No,
No,
Entia the shifter.
The
Entia-
grocer down the street.
I was about to say, no, Entria, the UPS guy. Who you think, dog?
Come on.
How many
George,
Entia the shifters
wherever
are
you
there?
are.
About 12.
12, 13, 14 on weekends.
Look, you
depending on how
you learn to drive stick and you get the title shifter. Like it happens, all right? It's so common. Entia? Come on. You remember that one year where it was the most popular name? Come on.
But yeah, like that when I relearned about that, I got psychic damage from that. Like, yes. Why do you have to say it?
my first response to that entirely do you guys know another? I thought it was going to be a plot point that there was other Entias.
No.
Yeah.
We do eventually have a surprise enemy right at the end of the series. But he's not called Entia, he's called the Kraken.
Oh my god.
I love the idea of a villain for a children's book that like they always have to keep clarifying which one he is. Like, the idea is like
That
it's
sounds
our
like
enemy, Frankendorf. It's like Frankendorf the farmer? No. The grocer? No. The tailor? No.
Sounds like a
The performing
This
arts
sounds
guy.
like a
It's
Phineas and
I
Ferb joke.
mean, okay, admittedly he is our enemy, but it's for a different reason. He's just kind of an asshole. Oh,
Frankendorf.
the Dark Lord. Yes, that Frankendorf.
Frankendorf with an I.
This sounds like a Phineas and Ferb joke, to be honest.
Absolutely, that would
Honestly,
be that.
Yeah, but it would work.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they go on to reiterate, the point that Ariana and Sunchaser are really important to Balinor. They have to get them back to Balinor ASAP. But I do know this. Without Ariana and the Sunchaser, the animals in Balinor will begin to lose their ability to speak. And when that happens, there will be chaos. If the bullocks can't be asked to pull the plow, there will be no crops and eventually no food. If the Balinor unicorns can't be told where to carry their riders, the army won't be able to fight. Balinor will be in the shifter's power. And then the waters of the watching pool will go dark. Humans and animals alike will be forced into slavery to serve the shifter's will. Then Numenor, the Imperial River, will dry up and the Celestial Valley will wither. The shifter will attack us here, and if we lose... Her voice trailed away. So, emphasizing that Ariana and Sunchaser are incredibly essential to the entire survival of this magical world. Entirely.
And I'm sure they're totally going to maintain this level of tension throughout throughout not only this book but also this series.
I think they forget in the next chapter.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be the great running joke too. It's like she keeps telling Numenor is like, Entia will have the power to do this if we let this happen. He's like, Entia, the shifter, our enemy, every single time.
It's like
and like people getting more and more
Also,
like yes, Entia, the shifter, our enemy, and just like, yes, Entia, the shifter, and then finally it's like, shut the fuck up, Numenor.
also,
Numenor, I love you, but shut the fuck up.
also running with this joke. Entia the Shifter, the fastest car in Balinor. Leave now for 50,000 horseshoes with 0% down. Stickers cost extra.
So there's another piece of exposition dump that they have in this chapter, and that is they just reiterate the animals of Balinor will be used as slaves or worse. He can rule totally and without opposition, and he has already kidnapped the king and queen, hidden the prince. I'm pretty sure that this is a Kindle specific typo. It's supposed to say princes, not princess. Hidden the princes. All this before we could act. We thought that sending Ariana and the Sunchaser through the gap would at least ensure that the humans and animals of Balinor could speak together. If they cannot, if the two races cannot communicate, there is no way the shifter can be overthrown.
Damn,
And
you
Tia,
guys
the
should suck at your
shifter, our
job.
enemy.
Oh my god, stop.
Every time just Entia the Shifter is said, that needs to be posted somewhere.
So, I didn't highlight it, but at the end of this chapter, Atalanta says, I am going to send someone over the gap in order to help them out. Because I guess sending Anne and Frank over there wasn't enough. They need to send somebody else. And this is where I think the first moment of good writing actually happens.
So,
Oh, yeah.
So lightning
Surprise,
opens
surprise.
up, and out of a portal comes Kyle Reese.
Oh my god.
But,
This is the stealth pilot for Terminator 1.
Ariana wakes up from her deep sleep to the sound of bells, and then a dog appears in her hospital room. And specifically, it's a male collie with a magnificent gold and black coat. The ruff around his neck was creamy white. His head was elegantly narrow, and his ears were up. The white blaze down the middle of his tawny nose. So Ares ran her fingers gently through his head and then snuggled them deep in his ruff. If he had a collar, she might be able to find the owner. Yes, there it was. A thin chain wound deep in the fur. That was what had made the chiming sound. She fumbled for a minute, then tugged it free. A necklace, not a collar. She held it up. The chain was made of a fine silver and gold metal. Each link in the chain was curiously twisted spiral. And every time I read this, I wonder, how did that shit not get tangled in his fur?
Magic.
It's
A ruby color. A ruby-colored jewel hung at the end, as large as her thumb. The late afternoon sun struck crimson light from the jewel. So, for those who pay attention, it's not very hard to understand what this jewel is within the context of the book.
It's Sunchaser's jewel, isn't it?
Yes.
Correct.
Congratulations, you get a cookie.
Yay!
It's oatmeal raisin.
Damn, you get
Oh!
donuts and cookies. Oh, well.
But yeah, so you would automatically think that at the end of the last chapter, Atalanta says, I'm going to send somebody over the gap. And then immediately we see a dog come and greet Ariana. And this whole chapter is mostly just the hospital staff being like, why the fuck is a dog here? Get this dog out of the hospital.
Because it's a dog in an emergency ward.
Yeah. And so Anne is like running around. She's saying, Lincoln, there he is. Come here, boy. Come here. Frank, do something. So we know from Annalie and Frank that this dog's name is Lincoln. So they know who he is. They know that he belongs to Ariana. And Anne seems to be upset that she doesn't remember who her own dog is. You don't remember Lincoln? Anne burst into tears. Frank patted her awkwardly on the back. Oh, Ari, Anne sobbed.
Oh yeah,
So-
just everything else is bad enough, but not remembering the dog, that's the real tragedy.
Yes,
It is.
yes.
Sorry, I'm just like thinking of them running through the hospital yelling after Lincoln. I'm just thinking, Fenton! Fenton! Jesus Christ! Get back, Fenton!
Yeah.
Anne Frank as a character, she survived the camp in a magical wonderland. Jesus Christ, I
no.
never made that connection.
Wait, what?
Because Anne and Frank,
Yeah.
they're the married couple in this. Oh no! Mary, what were you thinking?
That's so bad. I didn't even realize it. What the
Nobody
fuck?
realizes.
No one expects. I don't even know how to
No
end
one
that joke.
expects the horses.
So, they have a conversation about the dog and about Ari staying in the hospital. And the nurses, which kudos to the book, I guess, in 1999, they have male nurses and a female doctor. But they're arguing with Anne and Frank because they want to take Ari home, and they're like, well, she's not ready to go home. It's like, yeah, but we're poor. So they say, responsible foster parents don't run up hospital bills that they can't pay, Anne said tartly. And we've made some arrangements. A friend of ours suddenly showed up this afternoon, and she's going to stay with Ari as long as we need her. She's a medical person, a veterinarian.
Okay, that what? No, come on.
I had to call my mom, who's a doctor, and said this
Did
isn't
they
a book
not-
that I read.
Did this writer just forget what a veterinarian is?
She's a medical person, so a veterinarian can take care of a human as they recover from horrible injuries that required them to have surgery, right?
Well, yeah. You know what? You might want to go back on the drawing board with this one.
Oh, we misread what was
This
sent to us.
mine.
She's a vet. Oh, she served in Afghanistan. Never mind. We got this.
Yeah.
No, they did specify veterinarian, not a vet.
When they just extrapolated from it being said vet on the paper. That's why.
Uh,
That's her fucking name.
Her name is Dr. Bones, yes.
Yep. I
Like-
love it.
Mary, you do realize that Bones was the nickname of Dr. McCoy from Star Trek, right? That was his nickname, not his real name. Damn it, Jim. Damn it, Jim. I'm a doctor, not an equestrian.
In Balinor, everyone's an equestrian. But Ari doesn't remember Dr. Bones either. Except she does. All at once, an image of a short, stocky old lady with bright blue eyes and white hair popped into her head, as if someone or something had sent the image to her. Sorry, Raymond, I cut you off.
I was just gonna is Bones also from the other world?
Yes.
Are there any fucking characters that aren't from this other world?
The doctor and the male nurses.
That's about it.
So far, yes.
Oh,
That's
God damn.
Okay, most sacredly held secret in Balinor, my ass.
no one can
Yeah.
cross the gap, except
Except
people
like
can.
7 people.
And a
You see,
dog.
they- They got on one bus and they just decided, you know what? The bus driver just doesn't want to go back because it's a long drive. And
Yeah. So now you're probably wondering. So there's a dog that Ariana, the person from Balinor, just knows about, apparently. But now we also have Dr. Bones. It's like, who is the person that Atalanta set over? There is a little bit of intrigue here. Just a little bit.
It's both.
Yeah, just a tip of it.
Plot twist.
Yep.
It's both. I know. Actually, I mean, really guessing, it's the dog. She sent the dog. And
I mean-
Dr. Bones is evil. She's actually there.
Right. So, and then this is when we start getting the really, like, this is when the masks start slipping on their gaslighting. So Ari says that she doesn't remember Dr. Bones. Anne says, well, you will. Anne said in a positive way. She's a very old friend of yours, milady, I mean Ari.
Bro.
You might be wondering, you've been like with this person for a while. How are you able to make that slip up? Well, the answer is shut up.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you say so before?
So
Twi, remember that anime I described to you and how I wanted to compare it to Shadow of the Conqueror and all that bullshit?
Yep.
What?
It's surprising how quickly it has become relevant. Because literally the end of the last episode I watched of this god-awful isekai anime, the main character was going off to join a new family to basically kind of learn undercover for 2 years. And his servant, his best servant, that girl I described to you that is as horribly exploited as he is, she immediately falls into character as calling him the correct name and like not slipping up whatsoever. And it's like, you know what? That's I can't believe, like, it's such a small thing, but at least the anime gets that enough right compared to this.
Yeah.
Which isekai is this? I'm not going to name the isekai because if you watch it, you'll wind up on a watch list, even if you watch the uncensored, the censored version.
God. Wait, censored? What the fuck?
Speaking of Shadow, I actually did read that recently.
Oh, you did? Was that as bad as everyone says?
I'm frankly impressed.
Yeah, that's what I heard about it too.
That's the best way to describe it. It's just like a lot of people. That's a talk for another day.
Yeah, no,
It's on our list of things.
Oh boy, you're not ready.
They take Ari out of the hospital, and Ari blinked at the bright light, at the cars in the parking lot, the plane flying overhead, the smell of gasoline, and the crowds of people. Anne explained everything Ari saw. Each time Ari asked and asked again, she felt more desperate. None of this was familiar. None of this was home. And then they go onto the highway. The throughway, Anne explained. The farm is only 20 minutes from here. Do you remember yet? Anne and Frank are driving Ariana home in a car.
Ish.
Yep.
That. Oh. I
So
guess
the
it didn't
car
take
is
them long to
actually-
learn that. I guess.
The car is actually a transformed unicorn.
Are they just inside the unicorn and telepathically he's screaming to Anne and Frank, why? Why did you do this? Why?
Horses in disguise.
I can feel my ribs taste fresh air.
Like, it just... When I remember distinctly as a kid, I remember thinking that Anne and Frank were actually denizens of Earth. Because of how much knowledge that they had of Earth. In order to be able to drive a car, to know what an airplane is, to know what a throughway is, and how to navigate it. Not only that, but as we'll see later, they have an established ranch. A horse ranch. With customers, and horses, and employees.
Yeah.
Okay, back it up. How long have they been here?
Great question. Moving on.
No.
Oh, well.
It doesn't get explained.
What the fuck, dog? Why?
As someone who has family in the ranching business, the amount of work to get a ranch like operational and put through, especially a horse ranch, because horses are fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Fucking
bet.
expensive. If any animal farm, if you were like a proper horse ranch like that, there is like zeros in your bank account that I would like kill to see.
I
Well,
was
not
gonna
only-
say,
For real.
I have a guy, a friend of mine from my old workplace, that he used to like raise and trade and breed horses. Like he basically the wildest guy. He was a guy from like fucking Brooklyn. And he just worked at the airport in fucking Kentucky. It's like, oh, all right, you work at the airport in Kentucky pushing wheelchairs, but you invest in goddamned horses? Like I couldn't ever understand the guy. It was just wild. But the way he talked about like the amount of care you have to put into them and the costs they go for, it was just insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to do like show horses and everything, like there's a reason why that's the rich, snotty, slash like stereotypical rich person sport.
Yeah. So it's going to be established later on in the book that they do actually have employees. They have a restaurant, which I'm going to assume that they hire cooks and that it's not Anne and Frank operating the kitchens. But they have a dressage teacher. That, I had to look that up because I wasn't entirely sure what that is. That is a person who teaches children how to ride a horse, or just teaches people how to ride horses.
So they have to have been established here for years at the very minimum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like they not only
Way
have
more.
to learn how to drive, learn how to have a business, learn how to just take care of this world's horses who operate completely differently from Balinor's, unicorns and shit. Then they have to. Oh my fucking god!
A reminder
I can't.
And a reminder of things, nobody in Balinor knows what a horse is. That's something that comes up later. Yet Anne and Frank have a horse ranch.
Yes.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. This is why I gaslit myself as a child. I thought that Anne and Frank were originally from Earth, and that they had to be like taught about the world of Balinor, and that it was Atlanta who requested them to do this for her. But no, they are from Balinor.
They're
You
putting
had to
chemicals in the
gaslight
water
yourself
that are-
in order to make this any sense at all.
They're putting chemicals in the water that's turning the unicorns into horses.
They're losing their horns. I won't stand for it.
Do you
Just so it's
understand
more
that?
new.
Oh my god.
Josh Thomas more news. So do these guys just have the magic the servants and fate have, that they magically know stuff needed to know? I don't know, man. That makes way more sense than this.
Yeah, no, none of this gets explained. They just have this ranch for no reason. It's just there, and they operate it. It's like it popped out of nothing.
Which, again, super expensive, super well off. Like, they say they're poor. My
Where
god.
did they get the money?
Yes.
Yeah. So
They just walk in like they have a
okay.
bunch of gold from Balinor and just like, how much will this get us in your human dollars? It's like,
yeah.
It'll get you.
Also, I'm
several million
imagining-
dollars.
Also, I'm imagining they're saying, we're poor, and they're just wearing the most designer clothes in this generation.
It's like I can't believe you all think you're better than me, and it's just like everyone wearing fucking fancy outfits.
Yo.
But so they make it to Glacier River Farm, which is going to be the main setting for the rest of the book. And then the first thing that they do when they get her home is to put her in the wheelchair and take her into the horse barn so that she can see her horse. It was a stallion. The light gleamed on his bronze coat. His chest and quarters were heavily muscled, his withers well-shaped. But it was his head and his eyes that were the most beautiful to Aerie. His forehead was broad, and the muzzle well-shaped, with delicately flared nostrils. As he stepped forward, she looked deep into his eyes, large, brown, and full of sorrow.
And well shaped.
Yes, he was well-shaped.
So, we're going into something that Twilight warned me about, but I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off right now. So, you might have to question, you might wonder, Ari, do you want to fuck this horse?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
You know,
literally, the way that she touches this horse, whispers in his ear, like gets possessive over him. It's very uncomfortable.
I was gonna make a joke. I didn't realize that it was actually the direction this was heading.
There's a reason why I said I'm ripping this Band-Aid off.
I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
we were going
Is
to
this
have a
book
good
the reason
time.
that, like, the
it was just gonna be a meme.
Is this book the reason that horse girls have a reputation? Like, is this the
Is this like
Is this the
patient
origin
zero?
story of
Is
that?
this it?
Oh no.
or did that exist
Mary's
before this?
getting
This
this
is just a,
secretly Vosh.
is this just an early, like, is this like a, is this just like a ripple of an earlier, sickness?
I think that this is a ripple of an earlier sickness.
Yeah.
Dude.
But yeah, it gets very
You never
weird.
gently whisper in the ears of your homies. I'm thinking of the most
No.
gangster people in the world, and they're just like gently leaning over and like, "Hey, brother, how's it going? You having a good time? Don't worry." And he's like just like resting a hand on their thigh very gently, just like, "Don't worry,
Fuck.
I'll go get you a prime energy drink." Just like,
Why would you do that to your friend? Get them prime. Why would you do that?
That's the word. Yeah, that's the word. Clearly.
So
they're clearly in the dubcon.
Okay. Oh shit. Fuck off.
So, she gasps because one of the first things that she sees, is the wound on his forehead. And what do you guys remember about the wound on Chase's forehead?
Well, that it's changed shapes radically between shots.
It was.
It was a bloody stump,
Yes.
and then it was a white scar.
Which,
Yeah.
first off, if he's part of that particular Legion of Warhammer, the guy really needs to get like better Primarchs. Just throwing that out there. Sorry.
So, she gasped and bit a short scream. The light hit a great wound on his forehead. She could see the stitches holding the gouge shut.
That is a third radically different description.
Yes.
Yeah, bro. Is it a mood scar where it just changes shape depending on the Numenor's mood, or what?
Well, this is Sunchaser, but not Numenor.
No.
Remember-
Yeah, yeah.
I was,
Sorry,
no,
Sunchaser. Fuck.
no, Kaiser was right. It changes on Numenor's mood. That's just how this.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm sorry. I can't keep track of this stuff because I'm trying to figure out the rest of all the shit.
Do you see why it took me this entire week to like highlight this book?
Lance Corporal
So-
Anime Guy was going to make a furry joke, but no, it's worse.
Correct.
Yeah, no.
Yep.
Can't make the furry joke when the furry is implied.
Oh my god.
So,
wait a second. Have Vosh?
What?
Do we know if Vosh ever read this book?
Oh.
Wow, man.
Well, that would explain why the
The taxes.
it was all lully.
Oh. I was going to say it explains his political takes. I'm not going to elaborate.
Wow.
Anyway, I just highlighted this one up here because I don't like how Ari describes people. So she described Anne at the beginning of her first chapter as just fat. Like that was her main description of her, was that she was fat. Dr. Bones screwed up her face. It looked like a potato.
Okay.
First of all, like,
in there.
what kind of a potato looks wrinkled like that if it's not half, like, if it's not already rotting? Jesus. Ari, what the hell? You're saying that your doctor looks like a rotten potato.
It's like, congratulations. Like, you're supposed to know this person, so like it's telling that your first response after seeing them after getting your memories taken away from you is like, wow, this person's a fat potato.
Yeah.
No, but this is for the kids to laugh at. Funny potato, haha.
So he says, so Ari asks, I used to ride him every day, and Frank says, never apart, he said sadly. He chewed on his mustache with a melancholy air, I should say. Well, you slept in the palace. I mean, in the house, of course. Not in his stall, but still.
Oh my god.
You might be wondering, how long have these people been here?
What gets me
Yeah.
about this is like you don't need to like drop hints that there's something weird going on because we have been told explicitly what's happening.
Yeah.
We know that she's
Yeah.
a princess. You don't need to keep dropping hints for us. Like that's what
Yeah,
this is. It's for
please.
us because she's clearly not picking the fuck up on it. Unless hilariously later she's like, "Oh, that's why you guys kept tripping over your words." And they're like, "What? No, we weren't." It's like, "No, you totally were. What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Called me your milady. Said I slept in a palace. It's like, I never said those things. You totally said those things.
Well, we already have we also already have Galadriel. I mean, the horse talking into the seeing pool. So like, what mystery? Like, come on, guys, why are
Yeah.
you pretending?
So Ariana remembers something from her past, because it's very convenient that she do so. She remembered something. Scars like this one healed white. She closed her eyes so that the others wouldn't see the tears. And that would actually be a very good moment if it hadn't already been explained to us by Atalanta in the previous chapters.
Well, you have to understand. We have to hear it again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for the
'Cause kids are
blind
stupid.
in the back, right?
Yeah.
Also, this one hasn't healed white yet.
Nope. Because
Well,
it's still either a bloody stump or a gash, or maybe it is a scar.
Yeah, it's stitched
Like,
up
it's-
or whatever.
What does this wound look like? We don't know. We get very conflicting ideas in our heads.
Much like Lovecraft's elder gods, this scar can take many forms.
You would think that if you have some kind of iconic scar on a character, that you would want to keep that as consistent as possible, especially if you're like in your edgy phase or whatever, right?
Well, I'm wondering, like
that.
if like she was considering different variant approaches to it. Like, okay, do I want him to have a stump for a horn, which could be iconic? Do I want them to have a big scar there, or do I want them to kind of have a diamond pattern that a lot of horses have on their foreheads? Like, there are 3 different variants of that could be different levels of edgelord, and she just like, fuck it, all 3 simultaneously with no explanation.
Oh my god, Raymond, what if freaking the scar on Kenshin's cheek was treated this way?
Well, you have to understand.
That's like again Tamagag. Like it just keeps changing shit.
Yeah, yo.
It's like a thumbs
Anyway,
up.
we get another weird reference to Aerie knowing things about horses. Horses didn't look directly at humans. No animal did. Aerie knew that, just the way she knew how to pull on a pair of jeans or wear a t-shirt.
Okay, so if
How
you
do
lived
you
in
know
Balinor,
anything?
how do you know how to put on a pair of jeans or wear a t-shirt? I imagine you have a radically different
Exactly.
sense of clothing. And on top of that, animals do look directly at humans all the time.
Yeah,
My
what?
cat was just fucking in here, and he looks directly up at me with these big, bold eyes that are so full of love and adoration, and it's so cute, and it hurts when I have to kick him out of the room when I'm recording shit. So it's like,
Aw.
don't fucking tell me animals don't look at humans.
And also, I don't know of the things like horses never look at humans, because I've seen some race horses look at me and with basically the same expression as "the fuck you gonna do."
Fucking horses are genuinely terrifying if you look them in the eye.
Yes,
What
they
are you
are.
gonna do about it, champ?
Yeah, oh, I have a slight fear of horses. I'm not gonna lie.
They are people who have not encountered horses very often underestimate just how big the average horse is. They are genuinely some powerful fucking creatures. I mean, admittedly, you break a leg, they're fucked, but you have to kind of get to that point, and it's not exactly easy if you don't have a lot of force behind a swing.
And this is a small personal thing. A horse nearly prevented me from fucking existing. Considering how dangerous they are. Oh no, I mean this sincerely. When my mother was about like 13. She rode a horse. It got scared. It bucked her off. It started stamping around, and its hoof came down on her face. It broke half of her jaw. A little bit forward, it would have crushed her head. A little bit lower, it would have crushed her neck.
Oh
Wow.
my lord.
So ever since then, I've been looking at those furry fucks, waiting.
Yeah, I used to do
Revenge.
I used to do therapy riding when I was a kid, and I stopped going to therapy riding after the horse that my instructor was going to ride on the trail had started to get temperamental, started rearing back and bucked her off, and then she started screaming at the horse and like hitting it. And I was like,
not very therapeutic, that.
Yeah, no,
Not really.
Not at all.
I wasn't scared of the horse. I was just kind of disturbed by my instructor, which I don't fully blame her for being scared of being bucked off the horse. But, you know, she's owned these horses for many, many years at this point.
Yeah, not to mention
she-
antagonizing the big animal is generally, you know, not the very
Well, not only-
big brain idea.
Not only that, but she already knew that this horse was already temperamental and yet chose to take this horse out anyway.
What the fuck?
Also, that trainer was kind of inappropriate because made a very, very adult joke at me one time regarding horses.
Ayo.
Oh my god, the horse
Yeah.
girl stereotype, it returns.
Yeah, no, there was a male horse that was just like stretching himself out, and then she pointed at him and said, "Oh, look, he likes you."
Oh,
Oh my god.
I was 13.
Oh boy.
this instructor is like, yes, my chances here, we can get another one for the cult. And it's just like, damn. Like you walk away disturbed, it's like, damn, I let her get away.
Dude, what if the cult is called the Horseshoe Theory cult?
Oh, sorry, Josh, she's in Canada. What's the Canadian FBI?
FBI, open up.
Yeah. Anyway, chapter 5. So we're back with Atalanta in the Celestial Valley. Atalanta backed away from the watching pool. She was disturbed by what she'd seen. No, she was afraid. Ariana had no memory of who she was. Yes, we know. Chase was deaf to his bonded mistress.
We know.
His antenna had snapped off.
Okay, you need to stop. You need to stop, like right now. I don't know what this is. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what. Listen. Okay. All right. One is a mistake. 2 is a fuck up. 3 is a pattern.
Yeah.
4 is malicious intent.
Yeah, yo.
We already know this information. 2, why do you have to call her his mistress? Anyway, it continues on. And there was the dog. What was she going to do about the dog?
Dog.
No,
pet
you
it.
know what? I cracked the code, all right? She actually did finish writing the final book of Balinor, but it's only to release after she dies, so that she doesn't have to live with the repercussions of releasing a book that it's all in on the horse girl stereotype.
Oh my lord.
She knows
Boy.
where this
Can you
ends,
imagine?
and it is
Can you
adult as fuck.
imagine? Dude, can you imagine in like the final chapter, Chase like has the magic to turn into like a human form, and she and Ari just get together in the end.
And then like they have a child, and Atalanta comes up and is like, she's my soulmate.
Aw. I just realized what you were going with.
No, I realize it too. I hate this.
So the next paragraph down is talking about a phenomenon in Balinor called the Shifter's Moon. A period of 4 nights in a row where the moon doesn't shine and magic doesn't work in Balinor. So it talks about how the Shifter's Moon is a very dangerous time in Balinor and even in the Celestial Valley. The mares and stallions alike were supposed to pace the valley in a guardian circle, alert for sights and sounds of the Shifter's forces. There had never been an invasion of the Celestial Valley, not within Atalanta's memory, so the ritual of the Shifter's Moon had become an excuse for staying up all night, singing and dancing and telling stories and tales that the unicorns loved to hear.
Edna, the Shifter, our enemy?
Oh,
I'm remembering. Thank you. I appreciate it.
dude, this is
Commitment
gonna
to the
be
bit.
our bees. My God, this is gonna be like that for us.
No. More like, don't you know anything about science?
Yeah, yo.
So this is also something that kind of confused me quite a bit, because these in my mind at least, when we've established that these unicorns are like pseudo gods, they have powerful magic, more powerful than any of the magic that is found on normal Balinor. Several of the unicorns exchanged significant looks. They were a little afraid of the Dream Speaker. There had been rumors that she went beyond the usual use of magic to what? No one really knew.
What?
Okay.
Does this ever come back again?
Actually, we get expanded on this a little bit. There's a concept in Balinor called the deep magic, which is
Deep
just-
magic.
yes, I know it's very scientific.
Very deep, like at least 8 feet. Like you can actually dive into it.
Yeah. So you have your regular magic, which is you're able to do little parlor tricks like heal warts and heal someone's foot, I guess, if they sprain their ankle, little things like that. You're allowed to do little things like that. That is the normal realm of magic. And then I guess there is other levels of magic that nobody really pays attention to, but would have to be different from that kind of magic, but is still not the deep magic, which I think is just vaguely more powerful magic.
All right, deep
yeah,
magic is just magic that allows you to have astronauts in the ocean just play in the background.
Dude,
Yeah, like,
Honestly,
you can
I
heal
take that.
2
I take
warts
that.
with it.
yeah.
Oh my God.
It's gonna
She's-
say, the deep magic. It's my first thought was like, how like a deep talk is better than like a normal talk because you get more information with the other person. That's wrong.
Yeah. So what she's effectively trying to do is she's trying to get the magic system of Lord of the Rings, but also in order to differentiate it from Lord of the Rings, it has to in some capacity be more explained, but she doesn't know how to explain it. So it just becomes a jumbled mess.
There's a very specific reason that Tolkien's magic system is how it is. It's very, very limited in terms of the world because the number of characters left in Middle Earth who can use magic can be counted on like a hand.
Yep.
So that's why it works.
Yeah. But everyone in Balinor can probably have access to magic if they wanted to. All the animals can talk to humans, which is a form of magic. It is like what was established earlier, it is controlled by Ariana and Sunchaser with their bond, but it is still a form of magic.
Yeah.
And you have like Dr. Bones will eventually say that she can do a little bit of magic, like curing small wounds and doing small parlor tricks and stuff like that. But Ariana will be able to perform greater magic than that. And then later on in the book series, we'll come across, like I mentioned before, the Old Mare of the Mountain, which is part of the deep magic. So she's not a goddess, she is a being of the deep magic. She just exists in the deep magic puddle. And people are like afraid and wowed by her, but she's never once ever considered a goddess in any capacity.
Yeah.
So she's horse Jesus. Got it. Okay.
Basically,
No,
but well, that's Ariana. But
yeah.
Okay.
No, Ariana's the horse Jesus.
like, there's a
Okay.
reason why even in soft magic systems like Tolkien's, there are specific rules put in place so that the magic doesn't like people don't wonder why like you don't snap your fingers and solve everything. In Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
it's wizards / beings of ancient power like really old elves. Here, fucking every Joe Schmo down the street has magic. It's like Harry Potter rules. Everyone has it.
Yeah. And like there are rules set up. They're basically like the magical version of the laws of robotics. There are like 3 rules, and I can only remember one of them off the top of my head because it's really, really stupid. And that rule is that you're not allowed to use the magic for selfish purposes. So you're allowed to conjure up a stream of water, but only if, I guess, it's someone else is thirsty, not for yourself.
I was gonna say, okay, so like, how are these laws enforced? Is it magically enforced? Like you just physically cannot do something? What determines what is selfish? Like, is making something for survival necessity a selfish act? I mean, it is, but it's not a harmfully selfish act. So it's like,
What if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
It never
what if
gets...
you, like what if you try to like conjure something with magic with the intention of giving that thing to someone else, but also knowing that they would give it back to you? Would it like not work, or does it fizzle out, or
does the FUB show up? The Federal Unicorn Bureau? Do they just show up and get, like fucking stop?
Did it get 5 stars on GTA? Like, how does this work?
It never gets explained. It's just, here are the rules, you have to follow them, and then they go, okay.
Man, I have a common cold. Oh, I'm just gonna whisk up a little bit of a spell so I'm not sick anymore. I can go to work and be a productive member of society. Oh no, I'm being detained!
Well, give an example
You
of
can't handle the truth.
this sort of like rule system being done decently well. Have any of you heard of the Lycanius trilogy?
Nope.
No.
Okay. Long story short, war between humans and mages. Mages lose, specifically because just raw numbers. But long story short, afterwards, they basically use this slab of blood magic and like godlike beings put this in here to force a set of rules on everyone who can use magic. Like, is it explained? No. This is like, the people who are described to make this quite literally created fate. Like, the concept of it. That's the level that they're on. So that they're able to bind literally all of the concepts. Here, Atlanta got drunk one night, I suppose.
Well, like, it's never established who makes the rules. Even at Atlanta is bound by these rules to a certain extent, but it's never explained who set these rules. Maybe it's the gods, maybe it's the deep magic. We don't know.
It also brings into question of like, is her using the like pool to like see things? Is that not selfish of wanting to know information to help people out?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, like, who knows? Maybe they can skirt around it by being like, well, I'm wanting to know this for selfless reasons because I care about Balinor as a society.
I am
Who
reading
knows?
a book to better inform myself. Oh no, I've gotten blind!
Anyway, the last highlight that I have here is Atalanta saying, I did not send the dog to Ariana. I did not find the jewel.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's established with 100% certainty that Atalanta sent Dr. Bones over there. She did not send the dog.
Glad that mystery was solved literally a minute after it was introduced.
Well, also, I mean, I guess
Right.
it's you technically have the mystery of, well, who is the dog then? How did he get here?
A good boy.
Yes.
But
And
it's not a mystery
the
because
book,
everyone else recognizes the dog and knows he's safe.
exactly. But
Yeah.
at the same time, they technically shouldn't,
What?
Because no, they technically shouldn't. Because I'm gonna spoil something far into the series for you guys. He's not actually a dog.
Dun
Is he a
dun
unicorn?
dun.
No, I'm pretty sure that Mary Stanton had not thought of this at the start of writing this book series, that she probably just thought of it on the fly as she was writing, like, I don't know, book 6 or something.
Wait, is he Entia,
Nectar
the
telling me
shifter,
the
our
sky is
enemy?
blue.
No,
I wish.
no, but Atlanta does briefly think that he might be a member of Entia's army, but nobody except for Atlanta has like any wariness of this dog. But I guess to tell you about who Lincoln is, he is a frog-like creature that gatekeeps the portal of the gap.
The literal Cerberus-esque figure of this entire series.
Yes.
Ah,
You might be wondering,
What?
why does that
how
matter?
did it
What?
At
well,
all?
First off,
Yeah.
why does it matter? Second off, where to get the jewel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I don't think that from my recollection we don't ever get to see a flashback of the actual battle that injured Sunchaser and Ariana. All we know
Wait,
is
what?
that
No,
I
we never
no.
get that.
No, we don't. It's only implied, and so it's implied that Entia attacked them as they were going through the portal, but we can't be sure of that. So, like, we have to make up headcanons that the great battle happened inside the gap, and that the jewel was left in the gap, and that he picked the frog creature picked up the jewel, turned himself into a dog, and went to go find Ariana.
Just like, oh, hey, you dropped this sort of
Ariana.
thing.
Ariana. Da, 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 da. Anyway, Sky Slasher says moral combat.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal combat.
Dun,
But
dun,
yeah,
dun,
bro,
dun,
like
dun, dun.
it's this allegedly like really important event that, you know, is supposed to, I guess, in a way set the stakes of the story, because of the fact that, you know, this horse can't use their magic. There's probably gonna be some kind of like tense moments throughout this, at least the beginning parts of this whole entire story arc. Just never gets elaborated upon, really.
Nope.
Nope.
Did Miles and Carrie happen to read this? Actually, no.
No.
That implies they know how to read. My bad.
No.
I'm
Oh.
sorry.
Well,
Actually, wait. I'm too mean.
That-
mean. Hold on.
well,
that
that's
implies
why-
Miles knows how to read. Okay,
Ooh.
I have to be accurate.
Fair enough. But this is why this is such a unique brainworm, and what kept me going, because like you see the crumbs of what's there, and like little tweaks here and there would fix it perfectly, and like
Exactly.
it's like the flashback to that battle would be an easy late series like scene to go back to like explain the
Sure.
mystery.
Yeah.
But
I remember when Twi just described it. This is her Ruby. This is the
Yes.
series that like she just wants to fix because it's doable. It's there. You can
Exactly.
see how all
Oh,
the pieces work
yeah.
together, and I find that just fascinating.
there are some
Yep.
names later in the series that I'm just like, oh fuck, that's actually a really good fantasy name.
Yeah. Anyway, this highlight that I have here is just emphasizing the uncomfortable relationship that Ariana has to Sunchaser. She waved and called to him, fighting the intense longing to be up and with him.
Okay. I gotta play this.
I don't know. I have gone for, I don't know, maybe something more like this.
You know, like Sunchaser does that like what was it? Austin Powers like flip around look.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, we're children playing with the soundboard.
It's a
Yeah.
glorious thing.
So, Ariana asks about when she could ride Chase, and they say that they have to give her physical therapy first, but apparently the riding of this horse is going to help heal her legs.
No.
I
I don't even
No,
ride horses. I know that's a bad idea.
For
Yeah,
reference,
what?
for reference to people who don't ride horses, how you basically ride a horse is you're effectively standing up on the spurs.
Yep.
You're not sitting in the saddle. If you're sitting in the saddle, you're just hurting yourself. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
people who are like they say after their first ride, oh, like my like hips and everything are pretty sore. That's the telltale sign of an inexperienced rider, because you're supposed to like stand up and it's perfectly set to where you're supposed to be, quote unquote, sitting is where like the straps end and you can just like comfortably move.
Yeah.
I mean, then you get back to like
So-
how you like ride a horse bareback, is that you're supposed to like
Oh, yeah.
squeeze your thighs into the side so you hold yourself in place.
Yeah, I heard people.
Oh yeah,
some people
like
do that
people
too.
who ride like who could ride horses bareback were like disgustingly strong.
Yeah. So like after I started my own therapy writing, reading these books, I was very confused at this idea that, you know, in order to heal her legs from such a strong fracture that I think her bones might have been poking out of her skin and shit, that they would
What?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that it's implied like very, very subtly that that's the kind of break that her legs went through. But in order to help heal her legs from that kind of break, they're just going to make her do riding, you know, putting that kind of stress on her legs.
I was gonna say, like,
Oh yeah,
even
that's
if
the
you were
great
sitting
solution
down
to
on the
put this
horse,
amnesic girl into.
even if you were
Yeah.
sitting down on the horse and you had your legs in the spurs, the motions of a horse are not exactly, you know, coalescing with healing the leg. Like, it's not like a cat purring and at the right, you know, vibration to cause healing to start and expedient. Like, it's a lot different than that, because you're just it's all just more shock to the bones.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a constant like shock, trot, 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 shock, shock, shock.
No,
Yeah.
no, guys, come on. All right, her leg is like listen. It's like a dislocated arm. All you gotta do is put the right pressure on it. Just pokes back together. It's that easy.
It was established that she went through surgery, and she'll have had like I think it was probably like a month in the hospital or something like that she spent there recovering. And then she afterwards Dr. Bones is like massaging her muscles so that she can prepare herself to learn how to walk again. And that's what this is going. And then the whole while Chase is just whining about how she wants to ride Chase.
I mean, Ariana is.
Yeah. Ariana is just complaining the whole time that she just wants to ride Chase.
If Chase is whining that he wants to ride Chase, I think there's a weird problem going on.
Sorry. I'm sorry. It is.
Chase knows what
There's
he's
a
about.
lot-
He knows
This is
what
a
he can
lot
do.
to cover. We're
Dude.
not even a third of the way through the book. I just realized.
I
that.
know, but this is like the second time. This
We
is
haven't gotten to
That's-
the big bullshit yet.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, no,
Great,
that's-
there's more.
Yes.
That is why I did want to kind of speed this along a little bit, but
sure.
you know, I figured it doesn't really matter. I guess we'll just finish the book next week if we can, or we could go on a little bit longer if we could. I don't know. Anyway, so Ari says he's not sick. If he were sick, then I'd know about it. I can almost feel him think, and that wound in his forehead is almost healed, isn't it? So this is just establishing that already Ariana kinda pseudo remembers the magic surrounding her bond. Like, she doesn't consciously remember it, but she's starting to think that she's going crazy because she can hear like Chase's thoughts in her head. And this starts with her being able to feel his emotions. But also this is when we start getting the main conflict of the story. And that is a spoiled brat has taken a liking to Chase, and she wants to lease Chase out so that she can learn to ride on him.
What?
And Ariana is not having it at all. So this girl's name is Lori Carmichael, and she is a currently somehow she spotted Chase, I guess, and is like, that's a hot looking horse, I want to ride him. And Anne and Frank are like, we need to pay for your medical bills, so we sold him off to the Carmichels. And Ari is like, you fucking what?
You fucking what, mate? Jesus, what?
So she's taken a shine to Chase. Anyone would, Ari said lovingly. And they've offered us a lot of money to lease him for the year. What? Ari was aware that her voice was soft and her tone mild. You said no, of course. We're not selling him or anything like that, of course. So here's the big problem. The book doesn't establish what kind of a lease it is. And I looked this up, and IKnowNothing could probably like talk about this as well. But there is a difference. There's a difference between a full lease and a half lease. And the book kind of makes it seem like it's both at the same time with how Ariana acts. So if it's a full lease, then the horse effectively is owned by that person for the year, or however long the lease is lasted long for, the contract. And if it's a half lease, then that means that that person only owns the horse as long as they are physically on the property to handle the horse. Otherwise, it is still owned by the owners of the horse, and other things can be done with the horse.
It's like basically saying half lease is basically saying I get first dibs on this while I'm on the property. A full lease is basically I've contracted. The best thing that I can liken it to is like how teams contract players for like sports, where like we have the names, we have the rights to this horse, we can't do anything we want with it, but like all like pageantry things go to us, we take care of it, all that good stuff.
Hey guys, guess what stopped working again?
Your mic.
Yep.
Your microphone?
Yeah, don't worry. I swept over to my other one. I guess we'll just live with this for the rest of the stream. I have to make sure I tile this in.
Why do you bother moving?
No, I didn't even move. It just randomly. I have to figure out what's going on. It just randomly decided, it's not connected anymore.
I need to send you the
Check.
like,
Can y'all still hear him?
I've already swapped it all over. They should be able to hear me.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
They should be.
You do sound slightly crunchier, so yeah, I can tell that you're in a different.
Yeah, I'm trying to dial this in because, like, oh my god, it's like hitting the red constantly over here.
Ugh.
Testing. All right, that's a little more. All right, that should be good. Let me know if I'm too quiet or not, chat. This is annoying. Why is your semblance so powerful? It just is.
It can't be stopped, man. This is the one semblance Atlas could not contain.
Raymond sounds like an old radio call from World War II.
I kind of want a World War II speech read by Raymond with this mic.
I'm auditioning for backup for a Visipop performance.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, we get the we get the excuse here of why Anne, Frank, and Dr. Bones are gaslighting Ari. You know Dr. Bones said she has to remember all by herself, or it won't stick.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, just telling her about things like horses and airplanes and cars, all that, perfectly fine. But unicorns and magic and the fact that she's a princess and that her parents are in danger, well, I get the last part. You don't want to, like, stress her out or anything like that, but, like, none of the things that she grew up with and know basically since birth, none of that will stick. But this stuff that she is completely foreign to, that's perfectly fine to not only allow her to see on a regular basis, but encouraged her to think that it has always been this way.
There's
So we're just going
gaslighting.
to have Mom and Dad of the Year mugs just sail right out to her.
Yeah, they're already in the mail.
Sail right into their faces at this point. Like, come on,
Yeah.
guys.
So, now we're in chapter 7, and I think we have a time skip so that she can like walk, and she's actually like riding Chase. They said that she has a month where she has Chase all to herself, and Aerie is treating this lease, which we're going to just assume for the sake of simplicity that it is a half lease, because they do outright say that Lori doesn't own this horse all the time. You can still ride him when she's not here. So they act as though it is a half lease at the very beginning. So she's dreading the fact that she doesn't have exclusivity to Chase in a month.
Oh my god, she's the jealous girlfriend.
Yes.
Okay, also, I need to add this. I'm sorry, can we get some details on Anne and Frank here in the fact that, like,
No.
why are you just letting people lease out the fucking god horse? You know, the other half of Unicorn Messiah?
Yeah, like, you think that when Sunchaser gets his horn back, he's gonna look at Anne and Frank of just like, you treated me like an animal.
You treated me
Yeah.
like a used-up whore. Fuck off!
Yeah.
They just leave them stranded on Earth. You were forbidden to come back to Balinor.
Fuck them.
Yeah. So, like, we reestablish the fact that Lori has taken a shine to Chase, and Aerie is dreading the fact that Chase is no longer going to be exclusively hers anymore. She has to share her horse boyfriend from now on, and she's just not happy about it. And then here, she's walking along these hills that have caves in them, and it's established that these caves were formed millions of years ago during the last glacial ice age. And this is actually kind of important, even though that I didn't highlight them, but this is the area where the gap is, because it's established that this world is just one world. Balinor is just a piece of Earth that got separated from the rest of Earth because of the glaciers millions of years ago.
Okay, wait,
What?
So we know that the author was in Minnesota when she was writing this. Apparently someone said that in chat, if that informs any. Are we sure that Balinor just isn't Canada?
the great. I'm gonna stop myself because I forgot how English works. Holy shit! Oh my god! It might be Canada. We
Yeah.
don't know. There's a lot of unexplained lore, man.
Yeah. So, you know, as somebody who has a knowledge about human evolution and how the Earth looked like at least 2 million years ago, I can tell you straight out, we did not look as hairless and human looking as we did 2 million years ago. Like, we just did not. We were looking very similar to our chimpanzee cousins back then.
We were very
So-
Unga the Bunga.
Yeah, we were very unga the bunga. But
we were on like Donkey Kong.
like the fact that apparently this world, Balinor, has been separated from Earth for 2 million years, and yet they still evolved to look indistinguishable from the humans of Earth is just very funny to me, as someone who is now older and knows more about history and all that kind of stuff.
Monkey.
Yeah.
Monkey.
Maybe it's Santa's house. I mean, we've never seen a unicorn or his house. That's true. We've never seen Santa or a unicorn in the same room before, guys.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
But so she's riding Chase and she's with her dog near these tunnels, which we know is one of them has the portal to the gap to Balinor in it. And then she starts hearing this creepy voice that is calling her name. And it's implied to be either the shifter or a piece of the shifter or a servant of the shifter that has come over onto the Earth side in order to search for Ariana.
Etnia,
kind of
the
freaks her
shifter,
out.
our enemy.
Yes.
Of course, you remember.
And this is actually... I think that this is another instance of good writing where she actually does manage to build some tension, relatively.
Cool.
She took a deep breath. A terrible odor hit her like a blow. Dark, fetid, and bloody. Chase shrilled a high, warning whinny. He threw his great bronze body in front of hers and reeled backwards, landing on the ground with a painful thud. "Whoa, Chase," she said, in a "I really mean it" voice. "You stand." The horse flung his head up and down, the odd white scar on his forehead catching the sunlight like a prism. But he obeyed her and stood trembling as she dropped the reins and walked towards the brush that concealed her dog. She knelt and parted the grass with both hands. Lincoln bolted out of the grass, his jaws speckled with a dark, oily liquid that gave off a hideous smell, his bark spitting like in the air like a hammer. Behind him, the hissing voice rose in a frustrated wail. "Give it back!" the dog snarled, almost as if he were saying no. Ari grabbed Link's ruff with both hands. "You sit," she told him. He sat, his brown eyes desperate. He raised one white forepaw and clawed urgently at her knees. "It's okay," she soothed him. "It's okay." Gently, she pushed him aside and bent forward. So,
Yeah,
there
that's
is
really
a
good.
bit of... Yeah, there is a bit of tension in there, because like we know that it's the shifter because of everything that everyone else has been saying. She's the only one who doesn't know. It's just also a little bit frustrating that Ariana can see that the animals are clearly very disturbed and afraid, and they're putting their bodies in front of her, saying, "No, I'm gonna protect you," and she's just like, "Stand aside, I am going to look at this thing that you think is dangerous."
It's just a fucking bear. It's not the shifter or anything. It's the bear, and she dies.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, usually, I might be speaking for most people, but most people, when they see an animal like just screaming or like trying to warn, like a stay back sort of thing, most people are like, "What you doing, buddies?" And they step back because most people are just like, "You know what? This animal probably knows something that I don't."
Counterpoint.
Yeah, exactly.
Counterpoint. You have not seen TikTok kids. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay,
Well-
fair enough. I haven't.
Well, you see, you don't see TikTok kids normally because they've already sorted themselves out of the gene pool by this point.
So, there's the scene that continues on. The shifter's eye appears, the Sauron knockoff, and eventually she finds a seashell that is very weird.
By the seashore?
And she decides, no,
Oh.
it's in a meadow, but
That's weird.
What's this? She said. "Look at this." She held it up so that the sun struck white light from it. A twisted shell of silver the size of charms on a neck. The charm was about 1.5 inches long and no more than 1/8 of an inch wide. It was a long, pointy sort of shell that might have been from a very thin snail. Ari held it up and admired it. So immediately we know what this is. Because we're not
Yeah.
we're not that stupid. But
Just found a fucking no. You know what? No, this isn't a shell. It's a fucking narwhal horn. That's what this is. Actually, fun fact: the thumbnail when I was making it, the horn on the unicorn was kind of lame and actually didn't surface enough. So I actually just Googled narwhal horns to get the right angle of the horn, because the unicorn horns weren't giving me like the angle I was looking for, so I had to get the narwhals. So back to the origin.
Yeah, if you're going to stab
Yeah.
Twilight with something, it's gotta be worth it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
why I made it rainbow.
So, chapter 8, she goes back to the barn and puts Chase away. There's a scene where she like starts taking care of him and all that kind of stuff. Anne's there. She's talking about x-raying her legs again. I guess to see how well they're healing, but I don't know why you would x-ray the legs when like this far into recovery. But I don't know. I'm not an expert.
Oh no.
But like the scene is basically there just to say like, oh no, that's going to be expensive and we are already really broke. And now that's just going to be a lot more money. It's apparently like I looked it up at least today's money. It's like $300 or something like that.
Yeah, it's like if you own a look, a lot of medical care gets played up as expensive because there is a lot of expensive medical care. But you'd be surprised at how cheap some things ultimately are. There's actually a lot of very affordable medical care that you can get even out of pocket without insurance. I should know. I don't have any insurance. I've been flying by the seat of my pants, and I'm actually doing fine when it comes to some of my medical stuff. But like X-rays, they're actually not that expensive, man. They like,
No.
especially for someone who owns a fucking ranch. How many horses do they have on this thing?
Several.
Yeah, you're doing fine.
In terms of $300 you wipe your ass with $300.
You wipe your horse's ass with $300,
Dude,
and they have a
I was
self-cleaning
about to
device back
say,
there.
You can get that from a freaking retail job in like less than a week, depending on what minimum wage you got.
Yeah. So, they're arguing over the X-rays. Aerie doesn't want X-rays because it's $300 and $300 is expensive, and they're already leasing out Chase, her beloved boyfriend animal bonded pet thing. And Anne's eyes flick to her legs again and ducked her head, and then she almost says "milady" again, but she stops herself. And then Aerie knows that it's kind of weird that they keep saying that, because she says, Aerie wished for the 1000th time that she could remember her life before the accident that broke her legs and gave her a concussion. What she could recall of her mother and father. That she knew why, out of all the foster parents in the country, social services department could have chosen, she'd been placed here with Anne and Frank, who never seemed to know how to deal with her. Wow, Aerie.
What?
Fuck you, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, okay, there is a route to actually characterize an ungrateful teenage character, because I mean that's a common trope for a reason. You get an ungrateful kid who doesn't realize, hey, I'm a foster child. This someone's putting their neck out to take care of me. And admittedly, there are times, unfortunately, frequently at times, where the foster parents not all that great as parents, not all that great as people.
Yeah.
But neither of this has been characterized in any way, shape, or form. It just seems like Aries is out here being like, yeah, fuck them.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but outside of these moments where it specifically revolves around Chase, Ariana is characterized as a perfect little angel to the point where she doesn't act like a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah. Like
she acts like a mature 21-year-old.
Yeah, she's supposed to be like 13, 14.
Yeah.
Thought she was younger than... What the fuck?
Nope.
Nope. But yeah, it's just a really weird out of character moment for Ariana. And I know that I'm saying that as we're only like 8 chapters into this book series with the first book, but it is very out of character for Ariana to be this selfish. but it is also only ever in regards to her horse boyfriend. Which is why I keep saying that the relationship between them is very uncomfortable. And it's also very weird that Anne and Frank do point that out, even though that they know what the bond is. But they're trying to gaslight Ariana again into allowing the Carmichels to use Chase.
Not in that way, though.
Again,
Yes.
despite knowing that he is a god horse, but let's
Yes.
not talk about that.
It's like letting, for lack of a better term, because I'm so Arthurian pilled, it's like letting like the reborn Arthur or Lancelot just be used as a sideshow attraction.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, so
I was
fake.
about to say it's like putting the Green Lantern ring on layaway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you asked about if they have any other horses. Here we get a description of some of the horses. We have Max, Scooter, Shy No More, Beecher, and Cinnamon. And the names went on, meaning that they have more horses than just those. And I highlighted Beecher because Beecher is a horse on Glacier River Farm, but Beecher is also used as the name of a unicorn later in the book series.
What?
Yep.
Plot twist, they're one and the same, and it's just like a really lame alternate identity. It's like, no, I'm not Beecher, I'm Beecher. And it's like, no, so you're Beecher. And it's like, no, I'm Beecher. It's like,
Only it was named Ethnia.
When I first read this, I assumed with my dyslexia had made me read the name wrong, and I was like, obviously it's a different character, and I just didn't message Twilight about it. But then I realized, no, it's the same exact spelling.
Yeah, it is. And when I realized that too, I'm like, wait, Beecher the unicorn has been here the entire time? Why was he never a character? It's because she probably forgot that she'd used that name as a throwaway name for one of the horses.
Also, by the way, 5+ horses on this ranch, and this is like a proper ranch taking care of these horses. Again, wipe the horse's ass with $300.
Yeah, exactly. So we get a description of Chase's height. He was a huge horse, close to 17 hands high, and she had to stand on tiptoe to whisper in his ear. Because that's what she does. She whispers in her horse's ear. Very sensually.
Hey, Chasey, I'm here to tell you something.
2, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So-
I'm measuring myself with my hands now.
Hands.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Are
I'm
you
about
counting?
His hands.
I'm measuring myself in hands.
Yeah.
I don't know how this works. I think I'm somewhere around like 16 to 17 hands high. I'm sitting down, so measurement might be a little bit off. But how tall is what does it mean when you're 17 hands high? What do you mean?
A great question. We will never.
Whose
have the answer.
hands?
Right,
Whose
well,
hands are we using? Did we just have a hand off to the side that we use for measurements?
Yeah, like if I remember correctly,
Well,
please correct me later. Sunchaser is like a war horse, a like big horse in terms of
Yeah,
things.
he is. Yeah, he's like the size of a Clydesdale
Jesus
based
Christ.
off of this.
Yeah. And
So, horses are measured in hands, so it goes up to their shoulders, the height. So a miniature horse is like 8.5 hands tall. A Welsh pony is about 12 or 11. A thoroughbred is about 16, something like that. So he's 17 hands tall, so he's in between a thoroughbred and a Clydesdale in terms of size.
So he's big.
yeah,
he
big
big.
boy. Big boy.
He a big boy. Yeah.
Like the kind of shit that you put in front of a cart and it'll pull that thing for days on end.
Yeah.
Okay, now imagine this, okay? Chase's human form at the
Stop!
final book of the series is gonna have him be 6 feet tall.
Dude.
He's really short. He's really short then.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, in human terms, that would probably be, he'd probably translate like 6'6" something.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
more.
Well, he is short.
Yeah. So we get a description of like the surroundings of the area. So we have the buildings, barns, a house, and an indoor arena were built of a warm red brick that glowed in the sun and was softened by rain. The farm veterinarian, Dr. Bones, had her own special office with a little clinic for injured horses and other border barn.
Sky Slasher,
There was-
why are you just throwing random fighting games at us? This is like the third one you're throwing Street Fighter at us. What? The only ones I
Why?
like are Soul Calibur and Super Smash Bros.
Never played
I've
Soul
only
Calibur.
ever played Smash Bros.
I played 3 of those. I played like Soul Calibur. And
Yeah, I should
love
clarify.
Smash
I've
Bros.
only really played up through Soul Calibur 3 intensely and 4 a little bit. After that, I stopped because I don't like fighting games.
I'm a Mortal Kombat guy.
I'm
a
sorry
Smash
this
Bros.
is the foundational story you had growing up, Twilight. I'm sorry too.
It's, every single time I think about these like foundational stories, for lack of a better term, I'm reminded of the fact the first book that I ever fully finished was Dune.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I read Dune when I was like in 6th, 7th grade.
Oh, my old man is a huge Dune fanatic.
See,
I'm
wait,
gonna-
I'd like to counter his Street Fighter with Blaze Blue. No, no, you don't get that. You don't. No, that actually is worse. That is actively
He
worse.
just gives you the money back.
Oh no.
So just continuing on with the description of the area, there was even a small restaurant that was open for lunch and dinner for horse shows.
My God.
Yeah. So I know nothing. Tell us about a horse ranch that has a training arena where they have a dressage teacher and a restaurant to feed the clients and have more than 5 horses that are in the stables. How well off should these people be?
They're richer than the Yellowstone ranchers.
Ah.
That's the best way to describe them. Like the property alone, huge. Horses, most of their budget, absolutely massive. Restaurants for specifically being able to give horse shows and like feed people during that. That this entire thing is to the point where Millionaire does not cover it. Like
This is legitimately something that you would hear about through the entire fucking state. Like, this would be
Yes.
statewide, like, oh, this is, like, the best horse... It is, like, the best place for horses in the state.
it's best horse in this state, country, my dude. Like this.
No, because you're competing with Kentucky.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
You got to remember, like, I live right next to Kentucky, man. You walk down there, there's horse ranches every 100 feet. It's
Okay, that is. true, but
Sky
still,
Slasher
this is-
says Guilty Gear. No, stop, just stop with the. You can keep
But-
sending the money, but stop with the freaking side-scrolling fist fighters.
But long story short, the only money problems that could ever happen to these people is if like everything burned down and the horses died. And even then, the insurance alone would give them a good house that they could live rent free in anyone's head.
I was about to
Yeah.
say super churches wish they have that money. What the
Yes.
fuck?
Like
I was gonna say, like, if you would have to really dive into what's not working on the farm. You would have, like, the consideration would be we have to sell one of our horses, and that would be like the entire plot of the story.
yeah.
Yeah.
The everything like the stables need a lot of work. The stables would need a lot of work. The means to like care for them would also need a lot of work, and just a bunch of different things. To get rid of a horse is the last opportunity any rancher would ever go for.
Yeah.
Sora Heart, I wish chocobos were real. I would love to ride one. I wish chocobos were real. I would
Same,
wish
man.
to eat one.
Bro. Oh, so when I eat
Moving
chicken,
on.
that's cannibalism in your eyes, but not when you do it.
Moving on. We establish for the second time actually in this book Millions of years ago, the glaciers moved through the land like titanic ghost ships. As they moved, the land swelled under the glaciers like ocean waves, rising, falling, and folding itself to help smooth the glacier's path to the sea beyond. The huge icebergs had long gone, but they'd left caves and tunnels under the softly swelling hills. So this is just establishing, or re-establishing rather, that there are caves near Glacier River Farm, and that at least one of those caves has the tunnel that's called the Gap back to Balinor. They got even more prominent when she told them the way the cave seemed to draw her in, beckoning. "You can't," he said, leaning forward, so close that he could feel his breath. "You stay away from them." "Lincoln wouldn't let me get close," she replied, frowning at the strangeness of his reaction. "He led me home, and so would Chase." Except Chase wasn't hers anymore. "You've got to remember that," she told herself. What a drama queen.
I was about to
What a
say,
drama
like,
queen.
along with this, like, magic bond thingy, is there, like, a sort of, like, emotional kind of, like, psychological kind of bond type thing that comes with it?
We don't actually know, other than it allows them to speak to each other telepathically to each other.
And it makes them
And
really
also-
horny for each other.
Yeah. Like,
Well-
it makes Ariana really possessive of Chase. It makes Chase really possessive of Ari. Like, they don't ever want to be apart from each other. It's like they have, like, this longing to be together when they're apart, and they get really uppity and very ornery when they're not together.
Which, can I just say, I feel like that, like, if it's... this puts into mind as to a story idea that would actually make this sort of interesting, like putting in the question of whether or not, like, the characters would have to be in like internal conflict. They would have internal conflict as to whether or not, you know, she feels this way genuinely because she cares about
Yeah.
Chase, or because,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, it's like the bond that is like magically making her this stingy towards her.
Exactly.
I'm
I was gonna
guessing.
explore that. I was gonna explore that in my rewrite.
It's just like something from like Chase's perspective. Like, I am an honorable soldier, but at the end of the day, I don't know if these like feelings of honor are my own. Like, how can I call myself a like good soldier, for lack of a better term, if if all of my devotion was made from this bond and not really me?
Do I really want to fuck this horse? Does this horse really want to fuck me? Or are we both just magically bound to fuck each other? And just like Anne off to the side, like,
And she,
Ari, what the fuck?
Dude, what the fuck
Ari
is wrong
just
with
has
you?
her own
Sky-
taxes.
Sky
folder to
Slasher,
get
Final
what-
Fantasy VII Mission Abridged. Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
There we go.
It's great.
Yeah, we get more of Ari whining about the fact that she doesn't own Chase anymore, even though that it's a half lease. "How could I forget that you belong to somebody else now? How could I remember if I belonged to anywhere or to anyone?" That is a very weird thing to say.
Bruh.
So chapter 9, we finally meet the Carmichels, out in full force.
Oh,
Mr.
Dewey.
Yep. Mr. Carmichael, his wife, and Laurie's older brother sat in the judge's box, and that is the only time that we will ever learn about their existence. They disappear after that sentence.
The Carmichels are only in your mind.
Yeah, no.
The Carmichels
Whenever I hear
are
about the
the mind
Carmichels,
killer.
I just think of Susie's family from the Rugrats.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
That does
They're the
sound
Carmichels, I'm
familiar.
pretty sure.
But yeah, the mother and the older brother just disappear from the story after that one sentence. They're so insignificant to the story. I don't know why she even bothered.
But
They just get Thanos snapped.
you're about to
Yeah.
know about the daughter, and you're about to know about the dad.
Oh yeah. So, Ari is trying to, she's trying to make it so that Laurie prepares herself and is nice to Chase. And Lori is just not having it because she is a spoiled brat. You'll remember not to pull on his mouth, Aerie said quietly, and keep your weight off his back unless if you want him to turn or stop. Excuse me? Lori said. She lifted one eyebrow, her eyes narrowed in sarcasm. My father turned the check over to Frank 5 minutes ago. That means this horse is mine. Aerie couldn't stop herself. All her good resolutions about accepting the lease agreement with the courage went flying. It's just for a year, she said. And the agreement was that he's yours only when you come to the farm. So it's confirmed over and over and over again that it is just a half lease.
And on top of that, mistreatment of an animal would typically invalidate a lease like that. If you start abusing the horse and you don't tend to it properly while you're in possession of them, yeah, you can fuck right off my ranch.
That's a surprise tool that will help us later. Hold on to that thought.
Okay.
Yeah. If only. So they get Lori onto Chase. Chase is not happy about it because they establish that the only human being who has ever ridden Chase has been Ariana.
So you're leasing out a horse that has never, ever actually had a rider other than one. Oh, that's brilliant.
Yes, I know. These people are so intelligent.
Never been fully broken in, to use the correct term.
Mary, why do you write horse books?
Yeah.
She apparently owns some sort of farm herself and owns horses.
What?
So, like, she should know better.
I hope she doesn't take care of them if this is how she writes about them.
I know, right?
I wonder if I want to, like, okay, sorry, remind me in case I'm gaslighting myself. Kiersey, one of the newer writers for Ruby used to write like freaking horse books too, right?
Yes, she did. Wait.
I wonder if she picked up any cues from the.
No, I was going in the direction,
be...
guys. Kiersey started to emerge, and Mary vanished. Guys.
Dude, Kiersey drank the fountain of. Sorry, Mary drank the fountain of youth and decided to go under a new identity.
Yes, we've cracked the code.
There we go.
Honestly, would be a pretty good story. I'll take it.
Yeah. So, like immediately, as soon as Lori gets on the horse, he's very upset and he like wiggles around, and Aerie is trying to calm him down so that they can get on with the riding lesson. But Lori is also being a bit of an idiot. So just sit still, Aerie said more loudly than she'd meant to be. He's never had anyone on his back but me, and he's not used to. He'll just have to get used to it, Lori snarled. She sawed the reins back and forth, a technique good riders use in only the most extreme circumstances. Aerie had never used it on Chase. Even with the mild snaffle bit in his mouth, it would have hurt to have cold iron drawn harshly over his teeth. This cruel copper bit was much, much worse. If Lori kept it up, his mouth would bleed.
So.
Yeah, no, this would immediately invalidate that lease. Immediately.
Yeah.
I was going to say, who wants to start? So, first off, I'm pretty sure with how the characterization is, that's not the advanced technique. She's just a bitch trying to, like, make the horse do what she wants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a 12-year-old girl who the book will establish is not a very good writer, for one thing, but that's probably because she doesn't listen. And two, she probably hasn't ridden horses for very long. So she probably doesn't know what the advanced technique is. She's just doing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But Lori immediately starts accusing Ariana of doing something to the horse to make it so that he doesn't listen to her. And
I
Mr.
find,
Carmichael. Go ahead.
Sorry, I find the use of the word cold iron very fucking peculiar.
Yeah.
Like, is it just saying that the iron is cold, or are you saying that it is specifically cold iron, aka the thing that is used to kill fucking Fae?
I imagine that it's like it's cold on your teeth.
Yeah, like the sensation of just really cold things just directly on the nerves.
Okay.
Probably how it is.
Like you've probably like bitten into metal before and maybe had your teeth be affected by it, or
Oh, trust me,
like,
I had a bad experience with the cold sensitivity on teeth. Yeah, I know that. I was just being like, because we're dealing with like Fae creatures here. We're dealing with unicorns and
Yes.
shit. Cold iron, invoking that at all just is like a poor choice of words.
Well,
Yeah, no,
you have
it
to
is.
understand. I doubt she knew.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's I throw that as just a ignorance thing to that matter.
Yeah. So, like Mr. Carmichael, it says, like, "You keep that blasted animal under control," Mr. Carmichael shouted. "Give him the whip, princess, give him the whip."
Give him the whip, give him the nay-nay.
Oh my god.
So things get worse as Chase gathers himself, and then his muscles bulge, his chest expands with effort, and then he bucks forward, and Lori falls off of his back.
Ari off to the side. Oh, that was hot.
But the whip gets, like, she uses the whip on Chase. He goes berserk. He starts like bucking her and all that kind of stuff until she falls off of him. Very, very much probably reminiscent of what IKnowNothing said about her mother, or his mother, sorry. Like back then, like, Lori could have been seriously injured by Chase.
100%.
Aerie protects her, tells him to stand. She's crying. Out of the way, girl, Mr. Carmichael shoved Aerie aside and grabbed Lori. Lori, baby, are you all right? He pulled his daughter from the saddle and set her on the ground.
50
Then he
Shades of
hugged her.
Nay. Fuck you, Ryan.
Then Frank, who is a wilting flower of a man, comes in. Well, we haven't really talked about Frank, but he really is just a spineless jellyfish of a human being.
Oh yeah.
He's the +1.
Yeah. Well, Frank said, when one thin hand tugged nervously at his long brown mustache. The other twisted the top button of his denim shirt. Doesn't seem as though anyone was hurt, does it? Mr. Carmichael whirled, holding Lori tight to his side. How dare you put my daughter on that horse? It's unsafe. He could have killed her. His fat face grew dark with rage. I want him shot!
Who wants to go first?
Sir, fuck off my property right now. I will be seeing you in court for abusing my animal.
Yep. So this is the first time that Aerie directly hears Chase's thoughts. Little man. He pawed at the arena floor, and Aerie heard his voice inside her head. You shall be dirt beneath my hooves, little man. And she says, but they'll shoot you, she said. And then to herself, I can't believe this. I won't believe this. Is Chase talking to me? But Mr. Carmichael stormed, I'm getting the gun! Where's the gun, Frank? I want the darn gun! And then Lori shrieks, shoot him, Daddy! Shoot him!
Bitch, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, at this point, I would be getting the gun and being like, sir, you can get the fuck off my property right now.
At this point, I instantly started messaging Twilight of just like, what the fuck am I reading?
Yeah, yo.
Like, this is like the preeminent, I want to make a villainous character right out of the gate, and it's like, you're doing a shit job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this is cartoon. Like this is fucking I would say this is cartoonish, but that's an insult to cartoons, to be honest.
He's acting
No,
like
it's beyond
Chase bit
fiction.
his daughter. I know horse actually have, I think, more bite force than dogs, but I think horse bites are treated differently than dog bites typically.
Normally,
Yeah.
yeah. But all things being equal, a horse is going to like rear up and hit you with its like front legs
Hooves.
or its hind legs
Yeah.
before it like goes anything for biting.
Oh yeah, totally. And like just the gall of this man to be like, I brought a gun to another person's property, you know, just in cases.
Also,
No,
going from
no.
the
Okay. I
going
need the.
from the chat.
Oh,
Sorry.
what? Oh, you go.
No, I was gonna say from the chat. Scene Full Dark says honestly that this horse is worth more than the girl that is saying shoot the horse. The answer is yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Ironically.
Also, it's Sean. That's how you.
Oh, Sean?
That's an Irish name. That's how you spell Sean.
Oh,
Yep.
right up then.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, no, he didn't bring a gun. I don't think. He's implying that he knows that Frank has a gun and he wants the gun that Frank has. So it's like
Yeah.
another level of stupid. Like you are asking a man to get a
Yeah.
gun and give it over to you on his own property when you have been nothing but hostile and abusive towards his family and his horse.
Yeah,
Yep.
his property basically.
Sky Slasher, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite? No.
Isn't that the
Yeah.
worst one?
I played Marvel vs. Capcom. I think I played all the games.
Yeah, isn't Infinite
but-
the worst one or something?
Moving on from that discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, no. It just like the very fact though that this is going to be portrayed in the book as Aerie is in the wrong for wanting the lease to be null and void now after this incident. Because
Which-
Anne and Frank still want the money.
No, you don't understand. Like, this is the best of both worlds. They fucked up. They violated the contract. They still have to pay,
Yeah.
and there's probably damages in that contract that they have to pay on top of the fee they already agreed to pay. So it's like,
Mhm.
like this isn't going to be like this shouldn't be a conflict. This should just this should spiral out into a fucking court case right now.
Yeah.
It's like you have
Put the-
everyone there
put the-
saying
Put the horse into the courtroom, please. I want to see horse.
Oh yes, pull a Phoenix right now.
I'd love that.
But yeah,
yeah.
it just floors me that this would be any kind of conflict in this story.
It was
Because
the
it
first,
is. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it was the first time Twy and I instantly had the same exact thing of just like, how fucking dare you with this horse? Like, how dare you?
Yeah.
By the way,
Okay.
this is the moment that got. I'm sorry, my final interruption. But this is the
Yeah.
moment that said that like, you know what? I'm in for the long haul. I want to see what the fuck this goes.
Yeah. So Aerie says, like, Frank, I didn't highlight this, but like Lori is trying to like be like, oh, it's all her fault, Daddy. I want her away from my horse and all that kind of stuff. He didn't throw you off, you fell off. There's a big difference. She did it on purpose. I know she did. She wouldn't let me ride him with the right kind of bit. He can't stand that copper bit. Look how his mouth is bleeding. You made me put that bit in his mouth. Why are you lying? I'm not lying. You're the one who's lying. You're the one that trained that horse to make me look like a jerk. It's because you don't want me to have him. You want him all to yourself. It's like, she's like, that's not true. No, that is very true.
Oh, that's
First of all,
absolutely true.
Why the fuck you
Honey,
lying?
you know you want that horse.
Yeah.
Stop.
Look, there's
Stop.
more than enough horse for both of you.
Dog. I'm beginning to feel like there's too much for either of them.
But like I just find it really hilarious that the book seems to have unintentionally made Lori in the right, sort of in that particular argument. Because, yeah, Aerie did want this to happen. She did want the contract to be null and void because she wanted it so that Lori would be disinterested in writing Chase. And if this going badly had to happen, then I'm pretty sure that she would have wanted it to happen.
God, you know what would have been a really neat idea? Because I'm always a sucker for, like, you know, spoiled kids or kind of bully kids, you know, those types of characters getting redemptions of some sort. Like, can you imagine, like, instead of going for this piss poor antagonism that's really dumb, what if it's just she had to live to learn with the fact that her favorite horse was getting leased out, and then like she kept having quarrels and arguments with Lori over no, it's my time with the horse, no, it's my time with the horse. They just keep getting in spats over it, and like it keeps resolving in different ways, and then it finally ends with like the two growing closer where they have to share the horse, and like maybe they get like trapped out in a storm. Like I've never really understood the appeal of like horse girl stories, but I'm seeing the appeal of one right now. And then like as you go on deeper into the story, like you start threading in the magical elements. You start threading in the mysterious elements of like the horse nature, and they can discover it together as friends, and they can help each other. Maybe Lori gets hurt, maybe Lori dies or something because of the magical stuff, and it's something that Ari has to deal with. There's things there you could do. Oh my god.
Yeah. And none of that really gets explored all that well in this book series. But I just love how Frank tries to justify how the Carmichels will still get control over Chase even after all of that. Again, Frank, being a denizen of Balinor, he knows who the Sunchaser is, he knows what he is, and yet he's still like, now, Aerie. Frank put his hand on her shoulder. I know you're unhappy about the leasing agreement, but we've talked about it, remember? With your legs so busted up right now, it isn't really possible for you to ride the horse as much as he needs to be ridden to keep fit. If you look at it one way, the Carmichels are doing us a big favor.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
It is very bullshit.
You could just let him out into a pasture, let him run around.
Yeah.
Like, also, by the way, that's normally how it's done, unless I'm mistaken. I might be. But
I know that horses apparently get the zoomies.
Yeah, they do.
But another thing to add in, do you think there's gonna be just like a scene in the background where like Chase is in the Balinor courtroom, just like, Frank, you are sentenced to death for treating me like a goddamn animal and forcing me through torture. What do you say in your defense?
Wait, isn't a plot point earlier their legs were being healed by riding Chase? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, correct.
And then her legs should have already healed by this point.
Yeah, her legs should be done, honestly.
Yeah.
So Mr. Carmichael says, we're keeping the horse, but my little girl here's right. The horse hasn't been trained properly. Give him here. We'll cull around Princess, and we'll find a real horse trainer to knock some sense into the animal. So, they get into a position where, Aerie, wow, it's just really hard for me all of a sudden to just get past that, I guess.
Don't worry. It's a hard thing to get through.
Yeah. Aerie didn't remember anything about her life before the accident that crippled her legs. Not her mother, not her father, not even if she had any brothers or sisters, but she did know that she always owned Chase. He was as much a part of her as her heart or her lungs or her hands. And she knew that she had never, ever laid a hand or a whip on him, which is why he was so calm now. So, yeah, just, wow. Just.
Yeah, the author just has no TP in mind, doesn't she?
So Mr. Carmichael is like whipping the reins into Chase's face, And Chase is very confused because he's never been hit before. So he's like, that was an accident, right? She can probably hear him in her head. So she thinks quick. She bolts onto the horse, and makes the dog like jump onto Lori so that people freak out that the dog is attacking the girl, which is a
Oh my
wonderful
god,
idea.
that is an awful idea.
Yeah.
If a dog bites a girl, if a dog bites anyone, there is
Yeah.
nothing stopping the police from putting that dog down immediately.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, no,
But-
he isn't gonna bite her, but he does tackle her to the ground and then sits on her.
I don't know if that's really any better.
Yeah, no. So I said it's a wonderful idea, isn't it?
Oh my lord.
We're
I mean,
seeing the
admittedly, knowing that
prowess.
it's some immortal some immortal frog demigod, I would love to see them try to euthanize the dog now. Can you just imagine, like, you just try to kill it and like you inject the dog, it falls over, and then it just morphs into a dead frog, and then it just gets back up, and it's like, I must go guard the gap, and just hops away.
Actually,
Yeah.
wouldn't that not happen because you can only use magic if it's not selfish or whatever?
I don't know how passive magic that you don't have control over works in this setting.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
Who the fuck knows, honestly?
But yeah, Eri, she uses the distraction with her dog to take Chase away, and she gallops out of the arena and to the clinic where she talks with Dr. Bones. They have a
Well, I
small
think
talk.
that's probably a good place to cut it because we're 50% of the way through the book, and my headache is not really improving, and I have not been as.
Oh no.
I
Oh,
cannot
sorry,
contribute as
man.
much with that. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, it's we're almost at time anyway. It's like we're almost
Yeah.
we're almost at 10 p.m. So I think wrapping up, and we'll just come back next week and round this off.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought that it would be like one book a stream, but it might not be. It might take much longer.
I
than that.
love how the initial idea for you was we'll just cover the whole 8-book series in one stream.
Yeah, no freaking way.
Yeah.
The Twy told me that. I'm like, can we just go one book at a time and see how that works out?
So I'm gonna be 100% honest. I assumed I was being asked to come in like one per book per stream sort of thing. No, not a chance. There's too much to talk about.
Yeah. Well, I guess I overestimated how succinctly I could get through these points, I guess.
Yes, Ryan, 8 books.
Yeah.
Yes, there are 8 books.
There's supposed to be 9.
Yep, there's supposed to be 9.
We're
Yeah,
denied.
there's supposed to be like 3 different Star Wars trilogies worth of these things, but alas.
Yeah, so we are at the halfway point of the book, and we've already gotten through the most ridiculous part of the book, actually.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll find just as much enjoyment from the bullshit that comes up. That
Yeah.
God, because I wish I could give. I wish I had been more cognizant because I've been kind of like in a funk. I wanted to give more commentary on the legality of all that bullshit. My God.
We can do that next week at
Feel
the start
free,
of the
yeah.
stream. Yeah.
Yeah. For now, I'm going to turn to my co-hosts and ask: does anyone have anything they want to share?
I mean, just still, again, thanks everybody for picking us up to 5K subs. Really appreciate it. New video this month. More than likely, it's going to be an addendum to the previous one about my response to Johnny Two Cellos and Kaiser Neko, because I want to share with y'all some of the results of our private discussions. So that'll be interesting. Other than that, I have something even better prepared for the month after next. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's about it. For Patreon, if you feel like it.
I don't have anything because I spent the whole week reading through this book to catch myself up and do all of the annotations and all that kind of stuff in preparation for the stream. So I didn't do any editing for my video at all this week.
I know how that feels. I got jack done on My Hero Academia. I've been delaying on that because I've just been juggling so much. Hopefully I can get some progress done on that soon.
Fingers
Yeah.
crossed for you.
Fair, man.
My only thing is in the description of this video. Frankly, I'm just happy to be here and for the rest of the stream, so...
Hell yeah.
All
Real
right.
clout chasing.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us. I hope you all had a good time. Does Charlie still need help?
I don't know, actually. Like, I think that we're going to keep the GoFundMe up so that in case if we can get as much money as possible in, we can do that. But I don't think that he's gone to surgery yet.
Okay.
So we still technically would appreciate any kind of donations that anyone would have to
if you want to help
Charlie's
out
surgery.
If you want to help out
Yeah.
Twilight's family doggo, donation is down in the link below. In less dour news, merch is also for the channel, Celtic Phoenix merch, linked down below as well. Check out IKnowNothing's book, also linked down below. And yeah, I think that's about it. Check out Bad Fanfiction Night this week at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday night. And I think that's it. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for joining us, and I suppose we'll catch you all on the flip side.
Goodbye.
See you around.